You have to be patient. You don't got to make no moves. You ain't playing checkers, you playing chess. It take years for some moves to be made. God will show you. If you want to know, just pray. Get close to him. God, show me. You have to be patient. You don't got to make no moves. You ain't playing checkers, you playing chess. It take years for some moves to be made. God will show you. If you want to know, just pray. Get close to him. God, show me.
You are very open-minded about a lot. I think you haven't had an opportunity to experience a conservative relationship. Hold on. And if and when you do, come back and talk to me. Yeah.
What you don't realize is that you don't listen, man.
I don't have to. You're not my daddy.
Ever diagnosed with any type of like mental illness or any type of diagnosis, any type of learning disability, anything like that?
I have a crazy problem.
I think I got a crazy problem. I think I just may have a crazy problem because in the midst of a storm, yet here I am showing up 1000% ready to stand on business. So like Shamar says, I think I got a crazy problem. Well, what's up, Palace? What's up, Palace? Y'all over 900 deep. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Thank you, V standing on business. Thank you, Reem Baz. Thank you to Latrice for holding it down for me. Thank you, Linda Gamble. Thank you. Thank you to all of you that have checked on me. Thank you to all of you that are riding it out with me. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I am ready to do this. I was hit with a wave of confidence, and I'm here because I know the motherfucking palace got my back. And sometimes in the midst of whatever it is, you got to put your armor on and you got to come out and you got to work and you got to be willing to work, right? Because they say confidence is like a wave. It's up and it's down and you got to ride the wave. So today is a wave for me. Today is one of those days where I felt confident and I almost did it Friday, but I lost the wave, y'all. I lost the wave, but y'all waited. You were patient and here we are. And here we are. And I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about outwitting the devil tonight. That's what I'm showing up for tonight. I was not going to leave y'all hanging, but in every time, there's a time when you got to know when to hold them and you got to know when to fold them. And in the meantime, I was holding it for my brother, but I feel confident that I can come over here and deliver a word and then get back to my family business. So I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the unity. I appreciate the sisterhood, the brotherhood. I would say the Black community, but what I've come to find out is there's more than Black people here. I appreciate the village that we've created. I appreciate the content creators that's standing on their own motherfucking business and making good ass content in spite of the negativity. There is some good ass contents, big, small, new, and old, that are here on YouTube. And I hope you find your way to them. And because there's so many, I'm not going to call out any particular names for fear of leaving somebody out. But y'all are the real goats. Y'all are the real MVPs that know how to get in this motherfucker and do content and express your opinion without making the shit personal. You know how to stand on business and get your coin and make an impact with your platform and say what the fuck you need to say. And then you get back to business and you move on to the next thing. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And I salute those of you that are able to do it. And just for the viewers that are tuned in who may be a little bit confused about content creation, what we do is we show up to create. a dialogue, for conversation, and even exchange, even when you disagree. But we are going to give you an opinion, even one that'll shake you out of your boots, that'll shake, rattle, and roll you, even when you feel like you want us to say something different. And sometimes it may not be in the name of your favorite one, but it's just content creation. And I think it's important for those of you that are subscribers, members, and viewers to know the difference between content creation, blogging, and hate. Can we agree on that? Even those of you that may not be a fan of Melody Cherie, but you are able to get in there and do your content, I salute you without the hate. For those of you that are sharp enough, creative enough to say, I'm not a Melody fan. Come on, y'all. We got to take our hats out to them too. But they ain't never been disrespectful. They ain't never called a woman outside of her name. They ain't never got so low that they couldn't be brought back up, because it's content creation. And we're not here for everybody else, for everybody to agree with us, because what good is that? What good is a diamond that nobody can see? What good is it to stifle somebody's opinion when they don't agree with you if they can bring a different perspective to massage the dialogue? That's all I'm just saying. So I salute the good content creators. I salute the men and the women that are on YouTube doing your fucking thing as it relates to content creation, even when you got to stand up against the naysayers. Does that make sense? Because what I want to do is I want to be able to open up the platform tonight so that we all have a clear understanding of what content creation is versus hateful platforms. And I think if you're not careful, when you hear a different opinion that resides outside of your fave, you can easily misconstrue it for, you don't like her, you don't like him. Not necessarily. But I think we can all agree that as full-fledged adults, that we all know what hate is. We all know what hate is. Can we agree? Yes or no? Yes or no? So to me, if you can just give me a second, this has gone beyond the show. Now you're starting to see that when the word says test the spirit in all things, and the mask start to come out, surprise, surprise, guess who's coming home to dinner? Does that make sense? Surprise, surprise, guess who's coming home to dinner? And let me tell you something. Can't nobody bring out of you what didn't already exist. If you don't like women, you were just waiting for an opportunity. If you don't like men, you were just waiting for an opportunity. Because if we test the spirit in all things, eventually that fucking mask will come off. And there you have it. And in the words of, hold on, because I'm going to get to the point, Airy Aquari 719, the chickens have come home to roost, baby. This is no longer about love and marriage, Huntsville. Can we all agree? This is about principalities, entities, energies, lightness versus darkness. And my question to you all is, who in the hell left the gate open? Who in the hell left the gate open? Because to my understanding, those entities can't get in unless you invite them in. So who's so easily tricked that you could leave open a gate for somebody to come in? This ain't about Melody in this second. To call a Black woman. You know what? Let me back up. I'm taking you too fast. I'm taking some of y'all way too fast. I'm getting ahead of myself, and I don't want to do that. And I promised myself that I was going to walk this like a dog. So if you can give me a second to keep my word, let me tee a couple of things up. First of all, I want to be completely honest with y'all. I want to be completely open with you and transparent. I thought I thought I had been, but maybe I haven't. And I just want to get it out the way to say I am biased. I am. I am a bitch that has picked a side since day one. There is no wavering with me. Should I choose to go to bat for you, you ain't never got to question me, even when you're not around. So when y'all say you sound biased and have picked a side and never have strayed and never will, period, point blank. And when I say I picked a side of right. I've picked a side of right because I can even get down with people I don't like if they're right. Does that make sense? I have picked a side of right. I don't care if I like them or not. That ain't got nothing to do with them being right or wrong. So I'ma always roll with right. I'ma always step back and yield to right. I'ma always do the right thing when it comes to right. And can't nobody get me off that square. Period, point blank. Nobody, even when you don't like it and you say, you're supposed to be over here. No, baby, I am where I say I am. And that's the side of right. And that's what I do. And that's what my people do. And that's how we're rolling. So we're going to talk tonight. But before we do, I want to make sure y'all understand what I say when I say I have picked a side of right. If you can just give me 1 second. Because see, sometimes a song can say, but you can't. And I just want to put it in front of you just in case. So give me 1 second. With you all. This is the kind of girl I am. I've always been this way, and I've always share with y'all. Don't worship me. Don't worship me, because I can get down and dirty like the rest of them. And I just want to make it very clear where I Melody Cherie. I rolled on the side of right. So don't you ever get it twisted if you come over here. I can stand on my own. I can have my own back. I don't need an army. I'm grateful to have the palace, but just in case I didn't have it, I'm rolling the fuck out when it comes to another woman and when it comes to right. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of taste of my fire and where I'm coming from. And the reason why I jumped on this live tonight, because ain't no fucking way I'm going to sit back and let a man who in the hell left the gate open come on this fucking YouTube and disrespect a woman and sit back and watch like a rubberneck. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's all about what you stand for. But let me go ahead and shift into what I want to say. But I wanted to make it very clear the energy that I've always had. This ain't nothing new. That's just the way I ride. It just depends on the audience and who I'm dealing with. And don't ever get it twisted, because this has been out of control for quite some time. Now, my question to you as an audience, and this is before I get to where I need to get. Why did it take Anthony Lofty's calling Melody? Because he's done it before. He's called me a bitch. He said some of the most nastiest things about other Black women. But first, before I can cover Anthony, my question to you all is, why did it take him calling Melody a bitch for you all as Black women and Black men to get uncomfortable? That's my first question. Do we pick and do we choose whom is deemed worthy of respect? That's just my first question. As women, as men, is that what we're doing? Because if so, who's safe and who's not? Who's up on the guillotine and who's not? Like Big Brother, who do we save? Who do we use as a pawn? And that's my question to you all. My second point that I would like to make is I don't believe in complaining if I don't have a solution. I don't believe in complaining about anything, anybody, any commentary, unless I have a solution. So my second question to you all is, what you gonna do about it? I don't care about what you heard. I care about what you did about it. Don't bring it to me. If you ain't made a move, what you gonna do about it? Queen Sheba, what'd you do about it? What'd you do about it? Other than listen and participate? That's my second question. I want to give you an example of Candace Owens. Candace has been going for quite some time, a number of years. A number of years. And Candace was allowed to create a track record. Okay. See, as long as you deal with your own and you burn down your own house, when it comes to you blacks against you blacks, ain't nobody concerned. Until she brought Kanye West on her platform, who's known to be not a favorite of the Jews. Then the people took it, they struck her ass back to back. Boom, 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 demonetized her. There's powers in numbers. They said, oh, you now listen, you black people can get over there and act like the wild animals you are. But one thing you won't do is get out of order with us, because we can show you better than we can tell you. And not only can we show you better than we can tell you, we understand that there's strength in numbers. So when y'all sit back and laugh and get entertained by the slightest shit, we gonna start hitting you where it hurts. We're gonna start taking money out of your pockets. And in one day, I think 24 hours, they took her down. They took her down. There was nothing she could do about it. All of the good work that she did on their behalf. And the first time she stepped out of line by even pretending that she wanted to rub elbows with Kanye West, they took her down. They reminded her that they are in charge, and don't you ever get it twisted. We let you be here. And I'm sitting here looking at y'all like y'all crazy. It's over 1,800 of you in this live. And I'm looking at y'all like y'all are crazy. And my question too is, what the hell are you waiting on? Don't bring it to me. Because we the people, when you make a change or you want to make a change in politics, you go vote. And they tell you how important your vote is and why you should show up at the polls and how important numbers are. And if you get enough numbers headed in the right direction, you can influence what they call the vote. You can make a change because the people have a voice. Ain't no fucking way I will let a nigga of that caliber get on a platform and talk to me that way. And I look at it and I go run back and I tuck my tail between my leg and pretend that I don't have a choice to activate as a woman, as a man. Now, hold on. Hold on. Let me go a little bit deeper. Because I don't want anybody to get confused about what I'm saying. We get to choose how we show up. We get to decide. I gave a warning to Anthony, and I think everybody thought it was shit talking a few months ago. It was after Anthony called me a bitch for no reason. Anthony, but listen, let's back up. Let me back up. I'm not the first. I'm one of the many, and I'm still looking at y'all crazy. Because where I'm from, you treat the janitor the same way you treat the CEO. We all the same to me. Ain't one more important than the other one. A bitch is a bitch is a bitch. Whether you're on reality TV, whether you somebody's mama, whether you're a content creator. Hold up, bro. Hold up. We're not doing that here. So that's why I ask you all, at what level do you decide who's more important when it comes to women? What are you doing that any man can walk up in your house? Because all of you are Love and Marriage Huntsville fans, whether you like one or the other. That's why you're here, right? But at what point do you allow a man to walk up in this motherfucker that women have created and start calling women bitches and hoes? And you sit back and you scared as fuck to do something about it. Have y'all heard of Ronda Rousey? I don't know if you know her. She's an MMA fighter. She used to talk a lot. She used to win a lot of fights. And one day she went up against an opponent that wasn't as verbal as she was. And she did the bravado and she did the rah, 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 the last fight that she lost. And she was putting her knuckles up. You know how they knuckle up and they look at each other and all of this. And her opponent didn't say a lot. And she beat Ronda's ass. She beat her up out the sport. She tore her ass up in that ring. Tore her up. Fucked up her confidence. Fucked up her self-esteem. Ronda ain't never been the same. So my question to you is, what you waiting on? She told Ronda up, and I'll never forget the speech that Ronda gave before she got her ass towed up. She said, my mother taught me to not be a do-nothing ass bitch. Do y'all remember that? When she said, my mother always told me, don't be a do-nothing ass bitch. And that was great, Ronda. And I understand that your mother said always put a little bit of action behind your mouth, but Ronda got her ass toe up that night. She did. Bison, she did. She did. She did. And I sit back and I watch and I watch and I watch. And I'm coming out because I believe in putting a little bit of action behind whatever it is that I'm thinking. And yes, she did. Airy Aquari says she dog walked her. Now, let me go back. A few months ago, after Anthony heavily disrespected me, I got on, I said what I said. Because I've never called Anthony out of his name. But let me back up. Because like I said, I ain't the first one that he's disrespected. I'm one of many. And I got on, I said what I said. And I said, don't you bring your ass back to YouTube until you've had at least 18 months of intensive counseling. And I said that for a reason. Anything I say, I think about it. I don't waste my words. So I ain't one of them people that's going to come back and apologize after something because I've probably given it a lot of thought. And the reason why I said that to Anthony is because I saw Anthony spiraling out of control. And whether you like me or you don't on the other side, at least I said something. See, I'd rather go up against a group that's telling me, hey, you look real bad out here than a group that's cheering me on to the guillotine, to the ring where I'm about to get my ass whooped. And actually, nobody actually has to do anything because you're taking yourself down. And in my opinion, this is low for even Anthony. But I said it and I meant it because I saw it coming a mile away. And I said, don't come back to YouTube until you've received intensive counseling, at least 18 months, to which he had a response, a very affirmative response. Okay. Now, when it comes to, I hope y'all are following me. When it comes to how people offend different groups of people, there are particular words that you can use to offend different people or that people choose. You want to offend a woman, call her a bitch. Call her a bitch. Call her a cunt. Call her. You see what I'm saying? You want to offend a black people, call them a nigga. And then use the hard ER. You want to offend a white woman, call her a Karen. You want to offend a Latin, call him a wetback. You want to offend a gay, call him a fag, call him a queer, call him this, call him that. At the same time, it's still hate speech. How do y'all sit back and allow a man of that orientation to call a woman a bitch and you're okay with it? Because the moment she retorts and calls him out of his name, should she decide to call him, you remember we're talking about, I gave you many examples. See, some of you are only going to hear what you want to hear. That's why I said nigga, wetback, Karen, cracker. We can go on and on. Cunt is still hate. Should a straight heterosexual woman come back and say, you fag, you whatever, you queer, there will be hell to pay. because it's wrong and it should be wrong on both ends. So why is he allowed to spew? And Anthony, if you're listening, let me tell you where you've gone. Your content is now considered red pill content. Look it up. Because you've shifted from content creation to hate. There ain't nothing wrong with Anthony not caring for Melody or anybody else on that show. There ain't nothing wrong for any content creator to not care for Melody or anybody else on that show. But where we get down and dirty is where it becomes you versus them. And every day, your content becomes deeper and darker and more polarized on the hate side. See, it starts with a little bit of disdain, but then it starts to pull up traction. And I've heard content creators speak about lawsuits and say, I'm not doing this and I'm gonna do this because I don't want to get sued. Let me put you on to a little bit of game. You can get sued for any reason. As a content creator, as a blog, saying allegedly doing this does not save you. People can sue you just because you offended them, and there is no law to stop them. They can go and file a lawsuit against you every day. So there is no safe place for a content creator. So if you think that, and you're saying, I'm not going to do this and that because I may get sued, you can get sued for any reason. I'm just here to tell you that. I'm just here to tell you that. I teach that in my YouTube class. But there's parameters, there's protections that you can set yourself up with to help aid you should that be the case. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this. And I'm going to show you something that I teach in my YouTube class, because I heard people say I can sue as long as they're talking. This is going to prove my court case. No, it's not. It's not. So on YouTube, and I teach this in my YouTube class. If you can see the screen, I want to show you this. This is a freebie, and this is going to be educational for both content creators and viewers and subscribers. Watch this. One of the classes I teach the least profitable niches. Some niches are harder to monetize than others. Some examples when you talk about yourself. Number 2, when they become controversial. Number 3, entertainment driven, comedy, singing, blah, blah, blah. Number 4, hate speech and or violence. So where are we going with this? You can't sue nobody for decreasing your views if your content shifted from content to hate, content to violence. So YouTube tracks everything you do. And I know this as a product owner. I don't care if you scrub it. YouTube can actually present your screen to their side of their corporation and watch everything you do from click to click to click. And even if you hide it. So if you are planning on suing Melody, you would have to prove that you never changed your content and you were just going on about your day and you covered Love and Marriage Huntsville just like you normally would. And then all of a sudden, because of whatever you thought she said or whatever you thought offended you, changed your views. What you would have to go back and do is prove that you never changed your content. Can y'all hear me? Because somebody's saying that I went out. Well, you don't. So YouTube can prove it. YouTube can prove it, Captain Venus. So what they would do is they would go in and they will watch your content. And they're going to say, here, it seems like your audience would tune in. And the average viewing time would be 10 minutes. But here we start to notice, and they can go in and see every damn thing you do. So you can't trick the machine. YouTube is a machine. And I teach that in my YouTube thing, the machine. So you're raging against a machine. You have no lawsuit because you would have to prove that you never changed your content. You never changed your tone. You've maintained the same consistency from start to finish. Then you have a case. But this is the algorithm. Once you start entering into a different realm of the algorithm, YouTube is going to say, actually, you don't have a case. And here's what we were able to come up with. From this date to this date, it seems like your views were here because it seemed like you were neutral. The audience, your average view time was 10 to 15 minutes. But when you started to do A, B, and C, D, that's when you lost your audience. the least profitable niches. You want to lose your money on YouTube? Start talking about yourself, start getting controversial, start being hateful and being violent. So you lost your own money, Anthony. You caused your own views to go into a deficit. I'm just giving y'all a little bit of what I teach in my YouTube class, because some of y'all are really good content creators, and I don't want you to make the same mistake that I see that's being made. Are we all in agreement? I just gave you a freebie. Thank me later. The quickest way to lose momentum, because you are raging against the machine, and that computer can pick up bitch, that computer can pick up hoe, that computer can pick up this and this and that. You will not get the ad revenue that you have become accustomed to, because you've now entered into the red pill content. Now, I asked you all, what are you going to do about it? Now, there are some people that are sitting and they're not bothered by that content. And even if you don't agree with it, let me remind you that evil company corrupts good morals. Be not deceived. Be not deceived. Evil company corrupts good morals. And the more you can take it and sit there, even if you call yourself not supporting that type of content, it gets into your spirit. And before you know it, you develop a patience and an appetite for it. And you sit in a little bit longer. And at first you used to click out at 30 seconds. Now you find yourself there for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. Be not deceived. Evil company corrupts good morals. Reminder, Ariane said that she took Martell with her eyes closed. Oh, yes, you did, Jezebel. She took any ounce of dignity that he had left. Be not deceived. Evil company corrupts good morals even when it feels good. She desensitized him to right versus wrong. Be very careful about the YouTube content that you take in, because you become numb to right versus wrong. And then you figure, well, he or she is not talking about me. That ain't really involving me. That ain't really concerning me. But anytime we start calling mamas bitches and hoes to me, that means my mama a bitch and a hoe on mad day. Should I decide to piss you off? That means I'm a bitch and a hoe on mad day if I catch you on the wrong day. That's all I'm saying. And before you know it, somebody done snatched your whole fucking soul with their eyes closed, because you sat and you thought you were better when the word says, be not deceived. Evil company corrupts good morals. And you lose a sense for right or wrong. You lose a sense of your covering. You lose a sense of morality. You lose a sense of decency, logic, honor. And before you know it, you have an appetite for hate against other women. You have an appetite for drama that's a bit extreme. You get what I'm saying? For anything that you wish on another, your bloodline shall inherit, which is why I watch my mouth when I'm feeling away. For anything that you wish on another, your bloodline shall inherit, which is why we bridle the tongue and we command it shut when we're pissed off. Log off. Log off. Where are your friends? And I want to say this to you, Anthony. You know what's disturbing to me about what you have going? This isn't just to Anthony. Actually, let me back up. No, this is to Anthony. I want to say this. You know what's disturbing about what you have going on? You appear to be the most powerful person in your circle, and that's a problem. You appear to be the only one on your platform that's a content creator. So people come to your platform to speak. You're the only one with a platform, which tells me you're the only one with something to lose. Oh, wait a minute. Something to lose. Because people that are profitable and people that are making money, they're not going to risk it all. And Anthony, I'm going to tell you this. At the end of the day, when people really love you, they would rather risk your friendship and tell you don't do that and don't go that way than to keep you happy with them. They'd rather you get pissed off with them and say, fuck it, we ain't talking no more. But I let his ass know we not doing that. See, you need some people in your circle that ain't scared of you. You need some people in your circle that ain't coming up when you out of line. You need some people in your circle that ain't scared to let you get up there by yourself and make a fool of you and say, not today. And I think they call you nephew. Nephew, I'm not popping up today. I'm not riding with that today. I don't even care how you doing. I'm not riding with that. Because when we start getting down to the mothers of the church and they become bitches, nah, bro, I'm not clicking the link today. And that tells me, Anthony, you the only one with something to lose. You got to find a new circle. It ain't about he's hard-headed. He ain't got enough powerful people around him that can look him in his eye and say, hey, the fuck you doing? Colin, let's take Melody off the table, y'all. Let's take Miss Van off the table. What's wrong with you? Hold on, bro. If you gonna ride with me and if you gonna sit with me, you got to get better than that. I'm out here windmilling for you, bro. And you are crashing out. You crashing out. I can't sit at your table if you're going to continue to do that. I cannot continue to support you publicly because I have a mother. And I ain't going to lie to you, Anthony. If you call my mother a bitch or a hoe, and I know you're not talking about mine, but you talking about somebody else, I can't do that. I can't sit here and listen to it and skip over it as if you didn't say anything. That vexes my spirit. So you ain't got enough women around you that got their own shit going on where they can get up in your face and they don't care about you not calling them again. Because if you don't do nothing else, you're going to remember them and you're going to remember, shit, she cared. She tried to steer me in the right direction. You're the only one with a platform. And guess what they do? They let you say it on your platform because they ain't willing to risk their shit. They'll come on your platform and double down, but they ain't doing all that on theirs. You get what I'm saying? And that's what the crazy part is. They letting you crash the fuck out. And eventually you are, and you will, and they're going to pick up their marbles and they are going to go play elsewhere because they already have. They're slowly socializing to other channels. They're slowly showing up to other channels because everybody can see you going down, 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 down. Like I said, take Melody off the table. Take everybody else, take Miss Van off the table. We're just standing on right and wrong. You out of line. You've been out of line. But my question to the viewers is why now? Why does it take him calling Melody a bitch again and again, in addition to all of the other women, for y'all to become outraged, but you still ain't did nothing about it? Love and Marriage Huntsville is done. It's done as we've once known it. It's a wrap. Do you understand me? This ain't even about the content no more. This has brought out some of the darkest, vile spirits. And let's quit playing. Let's quit playing. That shit been down, deep down inside these people. These people saying stuff that they ain't got nothing to do with that show. They've been wanting to say it. And YouTube brings out a lot of mental illness. YouTube brings out a lot of people that have never had a lot of love and support in a positive way. They never got that about their system, about their spirits. And you all have created a pipeline for them to be toxic, for them to be destructive. And I'm just telling you, whatsoever you sow, you shall reap. Anything that you wish on somebody else, you've just placed it and pledged it and cursed your own bloodline because it has to hit you first. Anything that you've done and you've gotten pleasure out of, I learned from a close friend. You say, well, what is karma? Karma is once you've said it and you felt good in a moment and you didn't repent and you didn't feel sorry. Oh, you got to eat that. That's how it works. Did you get pleasure out of saying it? Did you get pleasure out of calling her that? Did you get pleasure out of calling her mom that? Guess what? You got to eat that. It shall return to you. That's all I'm saying. And anybody that clapped and cheered, and yeah, nephew, yeah, you've just removed your covering. You've just stepped behind the veil. You've just stepped behind the veil with those entities and those spirits. Now, I'm going to say this. Ain't no perfect cast member on that show. Not a one. So when we talk about the phone call, I don't care who Jerry Taylor is, y'all. That don't matter to damn. I don't care if it was Jerry. I don't care if it was Stormy. I don't care if it was Arion. Let me bring you back to center as they talk about Grounding. Let's get regrounded. The point is, you sent a negative text to that lady's child's phone. That's it. That's all, period. It ain't about changing a number. It ain't about who paying the phone bill. It ain't about her asking who it was. It's about your intentionality and the agenda behind it. You didn't mean well. And guess what? God is not, people always say God works in mysterious ways. I beg to differ. I think he works outright, upfront, transparent. He lets you see where all the chess pieces are on the board so you know who is where. And it was just by happenstance and by God's grace and mercy that text came through that young boy's phone. And his mother intercepted it. So who the fuck is this? Now, this is my child's phone. Hold on. So when we talk about who in the hell left the gate open, and I was talking about the Jezebel spirit of Arion, let's talk about who in the hell left the gate open. Martell left the gate open. Martell invited him into her children's life when he decided to lay with that spirit, that entity. And when I'm talking about the spirit, I'm not talking about when y'all say, oh, affairs happen all the time. Men cheat all the time. That ain't what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the spirit that jumped online and showed her brace face and said he licked my ass. That spirit, that dark spirit, that demonic spirit, that spirit that couldn't shut her mouth for 2 years, that monster, that scary thing that he invited into his children's home. So I don't give a fuck if it's 3 years later. When we say who in the hell left the gate open, let's go back to the head. The nigga left the gate open. The man left the gate open. And here go those demonic spirits entering into a child's phone. Come on, y'all, quit playing with me. And all y'all are concerned about is it wasn't Stormy. This is bigger than Stormy. This is bigger than Jerry Taylor. It's about the entities that have been invited in. So that which you wish upon me, you also spread to your bloodline. Melody has every right, just like every one of you. If a fucking text comes through your house tonight on your child's phone, you better get busy and find out who the fuck it is so that you can rebuke it, you can curse it out, you can do whatever the hell you need to do. And why has that gone over y'all's head? Y'all have forgotten that there are innocent children involved in this. Because has she let that text slide, God knows how many more would have come through. I believe if you stop it here, it won't get there. And as a mother, nobody is going to patrol me and tell me how to run my shit in my household when it comes to my kids. I will rebuke every demon, every text. And bitch, if I got to call you 5 times to find out who the fuck you are, I am calling again and again and again, because no weapon formed against my household shall prosper. Jerry Taylor, Stormy Steele, whomever you are. The point is you came with destructive energy. And here I am. Don't let that go over your head. See, y'all like to get lost in everything except the point. The point is you text that child's phone, period. Why y'all ain't talking about that? Baby, I don't care when the last time was you talked to her. Why did you decide to dig it up then? That's that child's phone. How about, hey, Melody, my apologies. I didn't realize that was your son's phone. You see what I'm saying? If you really came to clean it up, but don't come talking about you gonna fuck around and get sued. No. If you really didn't know, see, ain't nothing wrong with nobody being friends. Let's get it. Hold on now. Ain't nothing wrong with nobody being friends with Arion. That ain't no problem. Stormy can be friends with who she want to be friends with. Arion can be friends who you want to be friends with, but test the spirit in all things. When you know you've misstepped and you've made a mistake and you've infiltrated your adult ways on a child, you say, hold up, if you're going to come out and speak, Sonny Ray, a.k.a. Jerry, a.k.a. Stormy, whomever you are, you say, if you're going to come out, Satan, if you're going to get up, Lazarus, you get up the right way and you say, hey, listen, my bad. I didn't realize your child had that phone. However, then you get a bitch together You get what I'm saying? But what we not going to do as a Black community is not and ignore the fact that this grown ass woman was texting a child's phone. Well, she could have changed the number. She's not in charge of the numbers when you understand. When you understand child custody. He gave that phone to his son. Martell did that. Martell invited that Jezebel dark spirit in. Martell handed that phone to his child. Y'all are crazy as hell. Martell Holt did that. Martell should have changed the number. Martell should have communicated with Melody. Hey, she had that phone. Martell should have communicated with Arion. Listen, let your friends know that you ain't got that phone no more. I want to make sure my son don't get none of that. How does that go over your head? Now, y'all always talking about let a man be a man. We waiting. We wait. He ain't been a man since. Now, how does this fall on Melody? How would this fall on if it was your mom? How would your mom become responsible for the sins of your father? Because some of you got mamas that have been cheated on. Some of you got daddies that ain't shit. How does it become your mom's responsibility when your daddy give his side whore a phone and then give it to you as a child? How is your mother at fault for that? Because you're her child, meaning you, I'm just hypothetically, is receiving text from a side chick's friend. Ain't y'all crazy. So let's not make somebody responsible for something because we don't like them. Let's all be critical thinkers in this part. How does that become her fault? She can't change the number without his permission. She don't pay the bill. You need the password. You need this and this and that. That's on him. He should be leading those conversations between Arion. He invited that mess into his children's life. But let me move on because we hear what we want to hear. We hear what we want to hear. Love and Marriage Huntsville is done as we once known it. Okay. The fact of the matter is that lady does not have to set up barriers in her house to keep evil spirits out, to keep demonic horror spirits out. You see what I'm saying? I ain't got to do shit in my house to protect myself from what Martell got going on or any man got going on. What the hell? You'll never get rest if you always worried about what somebody else got going on. My house is my house. My house is my castle. I should feel safe here. My children should feel safe. If anything, y'all should be tearing Martell's ass up about handing his son a phone that his side piece have. And he didn't sit down and have a conversation with his side piece and say, hey, go ahead and let everybody know this ain't your phone. He should have been all up in Arion's behind. But Arion, I dare you to come out. Take note, y'all. I don't know if I want to say it. I might come back to it. Let me say it. I don't know if I want to say it. Oh, Lord, hold on. I'm going to say this. Martell invited that demonic Jezebel spirit in, and chaos has continued to follow her. Everywhere she goes, there she is. Everywhere she goes, there she is. And y'all have this ain't about cheating. This ain't everybody get cheated. Ain't nobody mad. Ain't nobody checking for Martell. Y'all have failed to see what has derived from the cheating, what has derived from the spirit that he laid down with. From the spirit that he laid down with. It has wreaked havoc. It has wreaked havoc. It's nonstop. That ain't Melody's doing. That's Arion and her crew. But let me say this, Arion, I know why you're quiet. I know why you're quiet, Arion. Arion ain't in a position to say nothing, y'all. Arion ain't in a position to say nothing. She can't come out. Because there's somebody waiting to come out on her. There's somebody waiting to come out on her. And this ain't about no phone. This goes deeper than a phone, Arion. I told you the same thing that makes you laugh, make you cry. When you want to spread somebody else's revenge, you better make sure you ain't on tape. You better make sure you ain't on tape. Same thing make you laugh, make you cry. That which you wish on somebody else should also impact your bloodline. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Arion. They got you. Got them. Got them. Like Kanye say, got them. Oh, yeah. Is that why you fell back? Because you on tape too? And it ain't Martell? Huh? called me a liar. Oh, yeah. You on tape too. You on tape too. Got him. Got him. Anthony Lofty's has been gone. When did it become obvious to y'all? Got him. She ain't finna interview with nobody. Got him. She can't. Got him. Girl, that man waiting to show your tape. Got him. That's crazy. The same thing that make you laugh, make you cry. I keep telling y'all, don't go so low. You better make sure your house is clean. Don't go so low. You better sweep in front of your own porch. Don't go so low. Got him. Do you have a tape? Bloop. Where's Ariane? She can't say shit. Her back against the wall. She better be quiet. They got you, boo-boo. They got you, boo. In living color. In living color. I don't think no woman should ever make a tape with a man. Not even your own husband. I think you should honor yourselves as women. But you was ready. You were ready to send Melody to the guillotine regarding something she did with her husband. You were ready to put it all out there. Now you on tape. Got him. That's all I'm saying. For those of you that are applauding Anthony, calling Miss Van a bitch and a hoe, calling another woman a bitch and a hoe. And why do you always talk about women's vaginas? What is it about a vagina that overwhelms you? And I'm saying a good way. You should have been an OBGYN if you were that interested in vagina. Because I notice as soon as you struggle to articulate yourself, you result to the vagina, which is one of the most beautiful things that a woman possesses. Power. It's beautiful. Men will kill for it. So it ain't really too much you can say about our vagina. We give birth. We birth nations from our vagina. And outside of birth, I mean teachable, love. It distinguishes us as a gender. It makes us up biologically when we're born with a vagina. Now you know we can show up as affectionate, soft, feminine, loving. So what is it about a vagina that has you obsessed? That when all else fails, you start to talk about a vagina, whether it's produced kids, whether it's wet, whether it's moist, whether it's not. And this is grown folks conversation, y'all. This is content creation. Let's go. What is it about vaginas that paralyzes you, that keeps you in a state of suspension, that cause it to come out of your mouth? I ain't never heard a gay man talk so much about vagina as I've heard you do it. That's your first go-to. And my question is why? I'm just curious. I love talking to people. I love listening to people. And I've started to pick up on that's your go-to. And I don't think most women are offended by it. Because to believe it or not, Anthony, even though you mean it in a negative, it actually comes off as the opposite. Because you say it with such passion. You say it with such energy. You put a lot of emphasis on it. And I'm like, Anthony likes vagina. He's always talking about it. Because the shit we don't like, we don't talk about. And that's not a dig. That's not a dig at all. But I just started to notice that's what you go to when you're talking or you're attempting to devalue women. I think it's one of the highest compliments you can pay us by acknowledging the fact that we have one, that it's powerful, that it's on your mind, and we can use it. And let me say this. Let me say this. When a man decides to cheat, because you got very graphic. You became very graphic about Melody's vagina versus Ariane's. How do you know the difference and the feel and the sensation? How do you know? Who told you that? Was it Martell? Or was it Arion? And why would Arion be talking about Melody's vagina? That is just like the weirdest, darkest. That's why I say he's been gone. And any woman that can sit there and listen to that kind of man compare vaginas, he couldn't even get it out his mouth straight. But I just wonder what the fascination is since we brought it up. Shit, let's talk about it. Did Martell describe her vagina to you? And what setting was it? Or was it Arion? And is that not a little weird? Some things you leave in the X-Files, you never repeat again because it makes you look crazy, throwed off, deranged, discombobulated, creepy, weird. Is there a reason? I'm not going to say that. You talked about my vagina and what it could and could not produce. And you said that was a fact. Who told you that? Who told you that? You said Melody couldn't keep a man because her husband left. Where's your man? Where's your man? I'm just saying. You said my husband wasn't hitting it right. And where's your man? Hey, listen. I just have questions. You see, mine is a question mark. Where's your partner? Where's the person that loves you? Where's the person that's covering you when you're not feeling good? You're not feeling well. You're having a tough time. The person that can tell you, don't go live, baby, on YouTube today. Let me run you a bath. Let me fix you some food. Let me pour you a glass of wine. Where's your boo? Where's your forevermore? Where's your partner? Where's your man that's supposed to have your back? Where's your tender? That's all I'm saying. It's just a question. It's just a simple question. Love in Mirror Huntsville is done. It's dark, and I blame you, Carlos King. I'm just saying, since we talking about who's this and who's that and who's that and who don't have what, can I ask you the same question? Where's yours? Why don't nobody want you? How come you can't keep a man? I want to say this. When somebody chooses to not be with you or they cheat on you, that's not a reflection of you. Whether you gay, you straight, you're asexual, bisexual, C, whatever. That's a reflection of them. So I don't believe in telling somebody you can't keep a man or you can't keep a woman because it didn't work out. Shit, that's on them. That ain't on you. And that's why I'm asking you, Anthony, where's your man? You know why I'm saying that? Because shit happens in life. It's not necessarily a reflection on you, but since we demon women as guilty because a nigga decided to cheat, where's yours? That ain't a reflection on no woman. Because a man can't control his sexual desire. Can you control yours, Anthony? Huh? People have their ideology about men being with men. Does that make you wrong or right? I'm just saying. Because that's the judgment that you're putting on a woman whose husband cheated on her. The same way you don't want to be judged. And let me say this. I appreciate the women that used to be over there on that side, on that page, that have come to me and apologized to me behind the scenes. And one said, Queen Sheba, I want to apologize to you because I fell for the okie doke. See, I don't go lurking for whatever people have going on because it ain't content to me. How you feel about me ain't content. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing, child. Let's talk about the show. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. The psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. But I had a few people come to me and apologize to me. And there was one engagement. There was one dialogue that really stood out because this woman who ain't no pushover, gave me a deep felt heart from the heart apology. She says, I would like to apologize to you because I fell for the okey doke. I was over there. I was behind the scenes with them. And they said that you were this and you were that and you were this and all of that. I ain't going to say everything. Okay. And she said, and I started listening to you. And I never heard those words come out of your mouth. Of course not. I'm a content creator. Just like I gave a shout out to the other content creators. Good content creators ain't got to get down and low. We know how to use our words. We can articulate and we can get on here and make it do what it do. I ain't never got to go that low, baby. A good content creator is going to create. We are compelling storytellers. We ain't got to go low to make $1 because we understand it's not the short goal, but the long-term goal. You get what I'm saying? The goal is longevity. You cannot sustain longevity on YouTube by attacking women and creating red pill content or hate content against somebody because of their gender, their vagina, or their sexual orientation. And I don't know when Black people have decided that we have an appetite for that. You know, you can change the narrative, right? You know, you have the power to say, we're not doing that no more. You're not, no, you're going to have to get up out of here in this sector with that. You know, you can do that. That's why I say take Melody Cherie off the table, just in case y'all don't like her. Take Miss Van off the table, just in case you don't like her. It applies all the way across the board. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You ain't got to put up with that. I just wanted to remind you all that I stand for right. I believe in great content creation. I believe every content creator has a right to say and do what they want. I don't believe everybody should and like Melody because everybody has different personalities. We're drawn to different things in different people. I've never been that type of, oh, you need to like, no. We're not going to do that. We're not going to tell people where to go, where not to go. But when it gets to a point where it becomes disturbing, I have questions. And that's why I asked him. I have questions. I have a lot of questions. Don't complain about it if you ain't going to do nothing about it. You get what I'm saying? Anthony, you done lost your mind. And I'm concerned for you. And the reason why I'm concerned for you, Anthony, is because you don't have a strong village around you. We all fall apart. But I ain't witnessed nobody do it like that and like over and over and over. And I don't see you getting any better. That's my concern. I don't see you getting any better. It's no longer about the content. And let me tell you why I say that. Because you remember I told you in my class, my YouTube class, I teach about the profitable and least profitable niches. One of them is hate and one of them is violence. And you have not been able to pivot. Now you're talking about yourself and how you feel about cast members. And now it's become extremely hateful. And I'm very concerned, not only for what you're talking about, but for the people that are around you that are not able to reel you in and love you back to baseline and pull you back to baseline and say, hey, if I got to fly into you, if I got to come sit on your couch and order some soup and have some wine, you're going to get it out here on the couch, but you're not going live with it. And that's how much I love you. I'd rather walk away from you than support you. That's how much I love you. No, you see what I'm saying? That's what love does. That's what good friends do. We're not going to watch you crash and burn. And your circle is watching you crash and burn. And I don't care how they tee it up and how they tell you, you got a right, nephew. That's ego, baby. That's called ego. That's called drifting. That's called hypnotic rhythm. They done drifted away from you. Somebody need to blow the fucking whistle, like Too Short say, and call the ship back to shore. And not because you're talking about Melody, but if they really love you, like they say you do, why allow you to crash out? Because you have crashed. It's embarrassing. There is no longevity in it. You are literally ruining your own opportunity. Long term. And with that being said, let me pause. That's it. That's all. Let me pause. I wanted to come in and say that because if I crash and burn, y'all please help me. Don't applaud me. If I start going dark, please say something to me. Please. Can it happen to anybody? I think so. I think if you don't have the right people around you, I think so. I think if people are intimidated by you, I think so. And maybe I'm not going to even say, you know what? Let me back up. Maybe some of them do want you to do better, but they're not willing to go up against you. Maybe they're not willing to go up against you and push and get that verbal lashing that they've seen you give to other women. But I'm going to just tell you, you have crashed, you have burned, you have done yourself a disservice. You have entered into a different realm of the algorithm that is now considered red pill content. And it's sad. It's sad. I don't want nobody around me that's going to let me crash and burn, that's going to let me create a head on collision because you're doing it to yourself. You are doing it to yourself. Love and Mirror Huntsville will never be the same, in my opinion. In my opinion. Y'all can't even, you know what? It has attracted so much darkness. Hold on. What you say, kicking in with Courtney says, tell me, don't let me crash out at all. Please. I don't care if I curse you out. Never talk to me again. But at least I'm going to say, damn, they tried to tell me. They tried to tell me. They try to warn me. You want people around you that's going to challenge you. You want people around you that's going to be like, I don't give a damn if you never called my phone. Shit, you was wrong. I did it to one content creator. I sure did. Because I stand 10 toes down on respect. Hold on. We ain't got to get it that way. You ain't got to be that crazy to make $1 off YouTube. I'm not supporting that. You not going over there. You not calling that lady that. And that person came up on my platform. I don't give a damn. I told you I stand for right. Right is right. Now, let me say this. If you're coming up on my platform, I want to do something a little bit different, crazy different, radical different, extraordinarily different. And if you don't want to do it, you can drop down. If you're going to say anything about Anthony, I want you to bless him. I want you to wish him well. Healing, affirming whatever it is that he should be doing. We're going to do something a little bit different. And not because we better than him. We're just going to show up different tonight. Fruit Gummy, welcome to the stage.
Good evening, Queen Sheba. It's so good to have you back. I wanted to say two things coming up. When you were talking about on the back end of YouTube, I won't say how I know, but I will let everyone know is that literally when you leave a comment on the back end of YouTube, it actually creates a timestamp so they can go in and actually see what part of the video is garnering the most traction. So that's a little tidbit for content creators as well. And then the second thing that I will say is when you were saying if you're coming up here to speak to AL, all I will say is that whatever he is going through, I pray the good Lord shows you peace and healing, and the village that you may or may not have. Hopefully, they're able to get to you so that you can see your value and your worth beyond what you're currently doing on YouTube.
Thank you, Fruit Gummy.
Thank you,
Appreciate you.
Queen.
All right. Bravo, Vivian.
Hey, Queen Sheba. How are you doing? Oh my goodness. You've been so in my
I'm feeling
prayers.
capable.
We had a little group in church this morning, early this morning, raising hands and stuff, sending out some prayers. Okay, so I'm going to stay on that level for the purposes of what we're supposed to do when we come up. And I'm going to say this. So my prayer, and this is a prayer, y'all. My prayer is that the Lord removes those worshiping Anthony and moves them to worship him, the Lord, so that the Lord can move freely into Anthony's life and starts to begin the healing that he needs. Because until that barrier is removed, until that man sees himself as he truly is, then I think that the Lord will have to move mountains, which he can, to get him his healing. But that's what I pray for. I pray for that his surroundings change in order to allow the Lord to come into his life. And that may be drastic sounding, but sometimes it has to be, and it may not be that drastic. It may happen before, without anything drastic. I don't know. I don't know the Lord's ways. So that's what I pray for. I pray for that interception into
Thank
his
you.
life.
Thank you. And let me be clear. Nobody has to come up here and say anything about Anthony. I'm just saying if you choose to, let's do
Okay.
it differently. Because y'all know I can get down with the best of them when it comes to that. But I want to
Yes.
try something a little bit different. I want to speak life and not death. If we choose to do that. You don't
Okay.
have to you don't have to say one word to him, but if that's what you're coming for, let's speak life. All right, Truth, welcome.
Hey, Queen Sheba. Hey, Palace.
Hey.
First, I just want to say welcome back. Your presence was definitely missed. And I appreciate just the class, the grace, and the realness that you bring to YouTube. In spite of any type of negativity that is, drawn your way, I listen and tune in because you are one of the realest, definitely one of the realest. And although you may be team male, you are always still fair with your content. And you always bring facts. And those of us who've been around since day one, know exactly, what that looks like and why you move, how you move. And I just want to, it's disheartening, and I'm not going to say the content creator's name, but I can remember when that person was team male and interviewed Miss Van and was on his platform saying, that she's a queen and she's so sweet and and then the fallout that you created, between him, that he created between him and Mel, causes him to be this nasty and vile. I just, it's sad to watch. And it's what's even more sad, Queen Sheba, is like you said, for it to be so many women over there, condoning the nonsense, So I like that you, said what you said and you put the ball back in everybody else's court. What you gonna do about it? Because it wasn't acceptable when it was said to you. It's not acceptable to any other woman before you, after you, or any other woman that it may be tomorrow. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you for coming up, Truth. I appreciate you rocking with me
You're
tonight
welcome.
and just
Thank
popping up
you.
and speaking your piece, Queen.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yep. Janine says, I appreciate the information you shared about YouTube. Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm just, can I say something real quick before I go to Unnatty and Divine Femme? I want to say this. Let me tell you something. You perceive the world as you are. Ooh, let that marinate. We perceive the world as we are. You think everybody's against you because that could be your attitude. Most people, the way I perceive the world, wants to see you do better. You just got to find your tribe and your village and reposition your heart. But most people want to see you do better. So I don't mind dropping gems that can help somebody, if that makes any sense. Let me go to Unnatty. Unnatty, what are your thoughts?
Hi, Queen and the Palace. First of all, Queen, how is your brother?
I'll talk about it behind.
Okay. I'm still praying for you guys. I love you. I miss you. And those women, the reason they won't go against him, They have behind the scenes told him too much of their business, and they are afraid to go against him because one of his supporters, he have talked about her bad, and she's still standing strong with him because he knows too much, and they are never going to correct him. Now he lost a few subscribers during that rant. He lost quite a few. I don't go over there. I unsubscribe when I'm doing Cake Gate. But someone that do say that night they were unsubscribing like mad. And I have reported his channel, a few of his videos, but look like YouTube is doing nothing about it. So I don't know what else to do. I don't subscribe. He don't get a click and a view, and I've reported. What else?
Natty,
Uh
would
huh.
you like to leave anything healing or
Oh,
positive faith, positive affirmations?
I pray that he gets the healing because he's unraveling. He needs to go and lay on somebody's couch. I pray that he realizes that. I pray his family reach out to help him. Somebody. I pray somebody in his life can get him to get the help that he needs. I pray that God touches his heart and his mind.
Thank you, Natty. And I see people in the comments are saying, I don't know this to be true. And to me, it's all speculation and assumption that, oh, maybe some of the women over there, da 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 da, because they know too much. I'm gonna say this. That can happen with two women relationship with girls being friends with girls. You know, you fall out or you kind of ease back. Somebody can tell your business. But let me tell you something to women and men, don't ever be ashamed of something that you've been able to master, something that you've been able to learn from, something that you've been able to overcome. Let them tell it. That's a representation of them, not you. Because if I told you in confidence, I told you in a space where we were equally exchanging. And that's a part of my pain that has driven me into my purpose. So if anybody from over there is listening, you feel like, so what? Your pain is your purpose. And anybody, that's why you don't give pearls to pigs, because they'll trample on it. But that's okay. That's okay. Shit, we all got a story to tell. Don't let nobody dangle what you've been through in front of your face. And I'll take it to YouTube. Take it to YouTube and watch me whip and watch me nay nay. Take it to YouTube. You gonna look like the demon, not me, because I told you that in a very tender moment. We were friends. So that's a reflection on them and not you. And I'm not just, that ain't got nothing to do with Anthony's side and his friends. I'm just telling y'all for the end, but don't you ever be afraid to make a move because of what somebody has on you. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind. Never shall I be afraid. Tell it. Sing it from the mountaintop. Hell, I can tee me up. Make my introduction so I can come out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Divine Femme, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. You mentioned earlier that you welcome people with different points of view, and I appreciate
I
that
do.
because most channels that talk about this show don't welcome people with different points of view. In fact, I made a few comments in your chat just a few minutes ago and I got blocked or put on timeout because it was a question, it was a statement that was not favorable about Melody.
Can you say
Um,
what it was? Do you mind repeating it out loud?
uh, I don't, it's probably what I'm about to share right now. I'm not exactly sure exactly what I
Was it
said.
a long statement or just something short?
No, just a couple sentences.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, I think that this show went dark a very long time ago. You know, not like within the last 6 months, but within the last couple of years. And I think the block Anthony has played a role in that online. I don't follow him, but I've seen some of his content. And he's spoken very darkly and mean about multiple cast members, from Letitia to Destiny to Miss Wanda to Miss Betty, back when he was a Melody fan. And I'm just wondering if there was any outrage for that, or if the outrage for, protecting Black women and, not everything that you're saying tonight, can that apply across the board, or is it only reserved, like you said, for Melody? Because earlier you said, why did it take him calling Melody a bitch? For us to wake up, because you're looking at us like we're crazy. So I'm curious from your perspective, as probably definitely one of the more popular bloggers on this show. What role do you think should have been played sooner before it got to this point where he insulted Ms. Van and Melody?
Okay, I'll go back. And are you willing to step with me?
Oh, of course, yes.
Okay, okay. I think when he taunted Miss Wanda. Now, he and Miss Wanda, y'all, this is what content creation is about. We're gonna have some real ass conversation tonight. He and Miss Wanda are in a good place. And I need everybody to mute up if you can, with the exception of Divine Femme, because I want her to be able to come in and out. And we have like a really good dialogue without interruption. I think when he disrespected Miss Wanda to the extent that he did, I probably would not have gone that far. And those same women that celebrated him disrespecting Miss Wanda they're celebrating him disrespecting Melody. Let's back up again. I think when he disrespected the Black attorney that represented Letitia and he called her job and put her in front of 15,000, 14,000 subscribers at that time was a disrespect to a Black woman, her business. I didn't celebrate that. I don't think that's funny. I think when he went to Destiny's closet, and I think even Melody said, that's not cool. So I think people have been speaking on it for quite some time, but we cannot stop women from going over there. And the same women that are, let's be clear. The same women that have been there have been there. No matter who's on the guillotine, who's on the block. I think when he disrespected Ann, I think when he disrespected Melody MC, take your pick. Who do we want to pull out of the bag of tricks? You get what I'm saying? It has been a buildup. It has escalated out of control. What are your thoughts based on the examples that I just provided?
I think you're proving my point. I think that it's been a history, it's been a pattern, and there hasn't been any outrage. And you're speaking a little more tentatively. Like when you mentioned Miss Wanda, you said, I think that was a little too far. But when you were defending Ms. Van, you were speaking about the virtue of a mother and how we must protect our mothers. And I'm sure some will say, well, look at how Ms. Wanda behaves, and she's not as classy as Ms. Van, or look what she does to Melody. They would defend it by saying things like that. But even before Wanda was going online, I don't know if it was definitely before all of the terrible things that she might have said, right? Because he was a millimeter at the time.
He was never a
The
millimeter.
the
I don't
energy
think
is
so.
different. The the energy is different. It doesn't Why did it take this? Why did it take him insulting Ms. Van and Melody for the outrage of the fans to say, you know, this is too dark? I just think we should be more accountable and less biased in the way that we look to protect the members of the cast. I think that regardless of who we like, what personalities we connect with more, they equally deserve, the right to exist within this ecosystem without being taunted online, without being called out of their names. And, that's the only point I'm making. I'm not saying anything more than that. Just that the biasness of this show and what I see on YouTube is a part of the same dark energy that is driving Anthony. He's not on an island by himself. There's a lot of people on the island with Anthony. It just so happens that, you know, he has the vitriol and you know, he's made that decision to be one of the soldiers that's like out there putting out a lot of hate. But he's got a lot, there's a lot of people over there. They might wear different t-shirts. Some might wear a Millimeter t-shirt. Some might wear a T-Squad t-shirt. Some might wear a Big D Energy t-shirt. Some might not wear any t-shirts. But the dark energy is broad when it comes to Love and Marriage Huntsville. And that's really my only point.
I want to say this. I agree with you. And I think I've said it like 3 or 4 times throughout this segment. Love and Marriage Huntsville is going down. It's no longer what we came to know. Can we all agree on that? Right, wrong, or indifferent?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. That was the first thing. The second thing is you pointed out that I described Miss Van as a mother. And then I said Miss Wanda. Well, Miss Van has never called me a bitch, and Miss Wanda have. So in spite of me being disrespected as a woman and Miss Wanda being somebody's mother, I still upheld her right to respect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It
Okay.
does. I
And
think
I
as
wanted
I think you have great content as a journalist. I think you're very professional. You that's why you decided to still give her grace and defend her
mhm.
honor. But I'm just asking for a little more balance. That's all. I think there's something to be said about the way some cast members, and by some, I'm really just talking about Melody, so I won't beat around the bush. Um, I just think that there is unfair bias in some of the reporting. But it's all entertainment. It's not that big of a deal. Nobody's gonna lose their life over this, right?
Right.
But just
Well, we
for the
hope
sake
not.
of right, right.
The
We
way
hope
it's
not.
going, child. That's
You're
why I'm like,
right.
"Oh, yeah."
You're right. You're right. But I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to share. I've only started commenting on, and I've joined a couple of panels, within the last few weeks. And it's tough out here for a person who's not who's not sharing the common perspective about this show. I think, there's a lot of conversations to be had about this show, and most people just shut you out if you don't agree with everything that they say. So I appreciate you dialoguing with me.
Absolutely. And let me ask you this, and I'm just being nosy. Where do you find yourself being the most comfortable of all the platforms that you visited?
Um, she doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but is Unpopular Opinion podcast.
Awesome.
She's extremely critical of Melody. I will say that, but it is from a place of grace. It is from a place of wanting Mel to win. It is a place of, wanting her continued healing because healing is a process. And, one thing that I don't go around saying is Mel is not healed. People that don't like Melody, they like to say she's not healed. Well, healing is a process, it's a journey, it's not a destination. I do think that in our healing process, sometimes we're in our dark space and we can spread our darkness. So I have spoken about some of that. But that's probably the one that I feel the most comfortable because the spectrum is wild. Like the far right is very dark and the far left is very dark. So I enjoy platforms that are somewhere in the middle where you can, have an opinion but still want the best for these people who are very relatable um, TV characters.
I'm glad you came up, and I'm glad we made you feel comfortable enough to come up because it takes a lot of confidence to come up in a where your opinion may not be the most popular, the most
Hmm.
standard way. So thank you for coming up. You're always welcome.
Sure. Thank you so much. All right. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Salt and light, welcome. What are your thoughts? You are on mute. Salt
Oh,
and
can you
light.
hear me? Hi, how are
Okay,
you?
there you go.
Thank
Welcome. How are you?
you. Fine. You're my very first time coming up on any platform, and I appreciate
All right. And now I don't know if it's my audio, but I can't hear you.
it. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, I can hear you
Okay.
now. So
I was trying to get to a scripture, but that's okay. I'll just
no,
say
no,
what I
no.
was
Take
going to
your
say.
time. Find your script. Let's do this.
Okay,
Stay
I have
there.
it.
I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
come. You got it?
Not yet.
Okay, okay. Let's do this. Don't rush.
Okay.
Go on mute. Let me go to the next person. I'm gonna come back to you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Savannah. You got the floor.
Good evening, Queen, and good evening, Palace. First of all, much love, prayers, and a big hug to you and everyone in the Palace tonight. Um, Queen, at first, I also want to say thank you for saying that this is a community of love and peace for all, not just for African American women. I am a Latina. I am also, I'm going to confess and say I'm not a millimeter, but
Mhm.
and I am not a fan of the show. However, I respect Melody Cherie as a businesswoman, as a hustler, and her business acumen is one that cannot be denied, regardless of whether you like her or do not like her. Um, this is one of these shows that I don't understand why there's such a divide and rip in the community. And everything I've been seeing um, is just so dividing, and so it's sad, and in some aspects disgusting as well. The division and the language that is being using against women, and even there's no boundaries when they talk about children. And it just concerns me, Queen, that I just see. I was a fan of this show when it started because I thought that they were going to bring excellence to a community that was thriving. And unfortunately, it's turned to something dark and ugly where it's caused so much division against a community. And I just hope that we can all find a way in a common ground to give each other some grace one day, especially since there was a tragedy that was associated with this show a few months ago. So I love you. I'm glad to hear your voice back on YouTube, and much love to each and everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for bringing up the fact that you caught it, that I called out not just a place for Black people, but for, because we have a very diverse audience. I wanted, yeah, I started to notice that. I got Savannah. No, not Savannah. Yeah, I got Savannah. I got Kat. I got Deborah. Deborah is a strong, I don't know if y'all know Deborah. She has dark hair. She's a brunette. And we got other people, y'all, that watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, but they may be hesitant to come out of the bushes because it is a primarily, it's a dominant African American crowd. But like I said, everybody's welcome over here. You know what I'm saying? Because we learn something from everybody. So Savannah, you tag team my Wednesday corporate segments with me. You always offer good stuff. Me, you, Sugar, Courtney, all of us. Bravo, Vivian, Miss Deborah, all of us. We get down with the get down. So we love you over here. You're always welcome here. All right.
Thank you, ma'am. And I also want to point out real quick that I respected Courtney when that's what is her name, Stormy, when she came on. See, that's how much I don't watch this show, but I do watch them on TikTok and on Instagram when they're selling their products. And I bought from both the ladies. I actually have another order coming in from Melanie soon enough, but I just hope that we can find a place of grace and community soon.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Show style and spirit. You got the floor. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Queen, and hello to everyone. Thank you for having me up, Queen. And what I wanted to point out in regards to the lady who spoke, saying about she desired to see more balance, I just wanted to remind everyone that it's normal for a content creator to have some sort of bias, or if they're slanted in a certain direction. The example that I like to use is cable news. You know, if you are looking for a liberal point of view, you can check out MSNBC. If you want a conservative point of view, you can check out Fox News. Ideally, CNN is supposed to be in the middle. So if you wanted to go more moderate, you can check them out. So it's quite normal if someone is slanted a certain way. I've said myself that I'm at peace with being slanted towards melody. I can admit that, and that's just going to be the foundation for my opinions and my commentary. And I don't really understand the trolling. I've also said, like, I don't know what's beneficial about trolling someone, making up fake accounts or no picture, no real name, and saying horrible things about someone simply because you disagree. And, there's always the stereotype that millimeters are crazy or they're trolling people. But if the opposite opinion does that to any of us who are slanted towards melody, somehow then it becomes normal or okay. So, I just wish, like, if everyone could carry out the golden rule, just treat others how you want to be treated, I think that would cut down on a lot of the darkness. YouTube, it's one of the many virtual communities that we have. I feel like, okay, just if you don't like anyone who's slanted towards melody, go to those channels where it's not slanted towards melody. Just like you did, Queen, you remained calm when she said what she said, and you even posed the question, well, who do you like? And she named the channel. She said they are very critical towards melody. Okay, well, that sounds like that's your tribe and your neck of the woods that you like, your neighborhood. Definitely hang out over there. But like the trolling, I feel like that's so silly. Like, how does it benefit you at all to troll people? And I'm very uncomfortable with like the body shaming. I just adore Miss Van, and I know that it's unwarranted and she doesn't deserve it. And typically, like I don't even want to talk about other content creators because, just in my opinion, for me, that's not really content. That's just like you airing out your thoughts, like you may not really like someone. With this particular content creator, what makes it more unique is that he kind of inserted himself into the storylines that we're all watching and analyzing, not just on the show, but on social media, with like getting, I guess, tea about what was going to happen and then talking about it. And then, now looping in Kiki and her mom, rest in peace to Kiki. Like when things like that happens, that's when you can't help but at some point, at some intersection, you're going to bring up the content creator. So I always tried to do it as tactfully as I could. But then, I did start experiencing like weird troll type comments, afterwards. And I'm not saying that it was him or anyone in particular that did it, but I would just say, just treat others how you'd want to be treated in return. And I think that would cut down like on a lot of the darkness. But those were my thoughts, Queen. And I thank you again for letting me up. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I shout out to all of the content creators. I think, listen, I knew y'all were good. I already knew that. But when you go through a time where you just like, I can't get on YouTube, but let me go to y'all will be shocked who I listen to. Some of y'all just pick up my spirit. I go to some of y'all for educational purposes. I go to some of y'all because y'all can get straight to the point. I go to some of y'all because I feel like, you know what? This is a girlfriend talk. I feel like I'm in a beauty shop. I think the Courthouse, Kicking It with Courtney, does a really good job of making you feel like, Courtney, I'm going to just tell you, I think you're onto something with your platform. Courtney makes me feel like I'm in a room and we're all frying fish and we're having some drinks where you can be real. You can get loved on. There's 3 different women in this corner. And it's the realest conversation on YouTube. Everybody's themselves, and it's the most genuine, authentic Black women I've ever come up against on YouTube. And I absolutely love it. I love Kicking It with Courtney's page, one of the many. And I'm going to say some more, but I know people get sensitive. I love Show Style and Spirit.
I love you
some
too,
of y'all that
Queen.
curse.
You're awesome.
Huh?
I said, I love you too. You're awesome.
Thank you. I love the ones that curse, not hate, because I'd be like, damn, I wish I can say that, but I done painted myself into a damn corner of positivity, and they saying exactly what. And I'm not gonna say no more names, but I got about 10 or 15 I love, and y'all will be shocked. Some of the content creators I love. I'm like, you'll be over there. Yes, I do, in the bushes, because I like how she delivers. I like how she get to the point. I like how he or she da 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 da. And every now and then, depending on the atmosphere, I may pop out. But some of them I have to stay in a corner because people don't realize that you can show respect for content creators and not necessarily agree with them. And there's quite a few that I absolutely love. I'm just gonna say, but because I know I gotta bring y'all up to speed and be a little bit more open and flexible. I'm not gonna say some of the names that I really love. Sugar. Sugar pie, honey pie.
Hey, Queen Sheba, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, first of all, if I sound a little funny, I have an abscess, so the right side of my jaw is swollen. But I came up here because I'm glad you're back, and I wanted to show my support, so I had to jump up here, okay?
Okay.
Now I'm going to start with this. You said if we had something to say about Anthony.
Yes.
So I'm going to pray for me. So I'm going to go
Okay.
through me for Anthony, okay? All right, here we go. Jesus, thank you for your deep love for me. You ask us to love others deeply, but you don't ask without first setting an example. Today, when I meet difficult people, those who might seem hard to love, help me remember what you did for me on the cross. Help me to love people with patience and graciousness. Let love lead the way to unity and support instead of dissension. This evening, please fill me with your love so that in my interactions, Lord, with others, I might lead them towards you. Amen.
Amen, sugar. Sugar say amen.
I'm going to have to pray through me.
I felt that amen. Y'all, I need that laugh.
Now with Melody,
Okay.
my whole thing on that is up to this point, and it's been about a little over 5 years we've been watching this show. Melody has never lied. I'm going to say that again. Melody has never lied to us. So she has all the credibility. So I don't care what none of y'all's talking about because she never lied. If I catch her in a lie, I'll call her on it. So everybody just sit back and chill. We happy. We at the cookout. Tell Queen Sheba we all good. You know, we do report. I know I do. I written letters. I, search down the head people, certified letters. I can tell you they got it. So what we doing here? Because the problem is becoming bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? So don't think we're not reporting. I just want you to know that. You know, you got the rain spots, but we be reporting. But you mentioned something tonight. Is that when it comes to, when you brought up Candace, when it comes to us, it's okay. It's okay when y'all talking about us or, beating up on us. But as soon as you cross that line and talk about them, then everything getting shut down. Why do you two keep allowing this? So I even saw content creators coming together, making videos showing people how to report. So I don't know what nobody else doing, but I call to action and say they didn't get it. Certified letters. Say they didn't get it. Mm-hmm.
Woo.
And so I'll just sit in the background until I fall asleep. But I love you, Queen Sheba. I'm glad you're back.
Thank
Popping
you.
in. Thank you for having me as always. And like you said with Courtney, we be on the panel. Yeah, we gonna run it back over there.
Love it. Love it. Listen, thank you. Thank you for popping up. You know you can hang out as always. Sugar be having my back, baby. She say, I'm just here. I'm gonna sit here. So I appreciate it. But let me go to Salt and Light. Hold on. But Victoria, I want to say, Victoria, you have been waiting a while, but your device is not connected, Victoria. So you got it says that. Let me see what it says about you. Because I want to make sure I get you. And I don't want to skip you. It says you need to connect your mic and your camera before you can come to the screen. So go out, Victoria, and stay out, but then come in. But before you come in, oh, there it is. Boom. Okay, let me go to Salt and Light. Salt and Light, welcome.
Thank you. I was just thinking about when you said about the positivity. The most that we can do is to pray. And I was looking at this scripture in First Timothy chapter 2, where it mentions that to exhort, therefore, that first of all supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving thanks be made for all men, for kings and for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceful life in all godliness and honesty. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of God our Savior, who will have all men to be saved and to come into the knowledge of truth. So my thing is that for Anthony, I would like to say to him or Mr. Lofties that at any point in time, all of us have the option to change. We can stop immediately where we are in life if we are on a road that is not pleasing. We have the opportunity to change because Jesus went to the cross for us, for our sins. And even with him, I know a lot has been said, and from what I don't follow him or anything like that, but from what I've heard in the YouTube streets, it's been a lot. But everybody has the opportunity when you're given grace and mercy to see a new day. That gives you opportunity to redirect yourself to a positive way of being. So my thing to him is that I will be praying that God will reveal himself to him and that he will see how he is fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God, and that he will repent and turn away from things that are not pleasing and go forth to meet his true purpose in life.
Thank you, Salt and Light. I love it. And thank you for being patient and coming back up. And thank you, Piano, for giving her time to find her scripture.
Thank
So we
you. Appreciate it.
absolutely. Bad apple. One bad apple can come on,
Spoiled
bad
the
apple.
whole damn bunch. Hello, Queen. How are you tonight?
I'm hanging in there. I'm glad I found the courage to come up. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad to hear your voice again. You were missed. I don't have a prayer or a scripture. I just have maybe what you would call a proverb,
Okay.
which goes, everybody's heard this: pride cometh before the fall. I want to address what I feel like maybe have been a false equivalency stated about the situation. And I just want to say, when Anthony Lofties first came on YouTube, I did subscribe to him. And this is something that I've been very vocal about on the platforms that I frequent. I quickly unsubscribed from him. My discernment really kicked in after I watched a couple of his videos. I think maybe it was about 3 or 4 videos, but then there was a situation with I'm sorry, what do you call them? The people who help with your channel. I'm sorry, what moderator. Okay.
Mhm.
So there was an issue that he had with a moderator who was supposed to be a friend of his that
Okay.
rubbed me the wrong way. Like,
Mhm.
it's totally, just it turned me off from him. And I knew right then that he did not have good intentions. I'm trying to choose my words wisely. Okay.
Don't. Just be authentically you.
Okay. So when the cake
Take a deep
situation,
breath and speak the way you want to speak over here.
okay, so it was the cake situation with me
Okay.
because I took great offense to him divulging private information that a friend had told him in confidence about abuse, about a specific type of abuse. And my principles kicked in. And I stopped listening to him. I unsubscribed and I told YouTube, do not recommend this one.
Okay.
That is what you do when you have principles, things that are important to you, things that you stand on, things that you know you can't let slide. That was the first thing. Now, after I unsubscribed from him, I just started hearing about more and more and more things. And my question was, why are people still over there? After the cake situation with the moderator, I mean, is that what y'all? Is this the name of it? I'm sorry. I can wait. I
No,
think
you're good. Keep going.
with the wrench holders. When he did that to her, I felt like his whole audience should be gone. And I've been saying it ever since then. And that was early on, like right when he had first got on this platform. And I think that sometimes we forget our principles and we don't use our discernment
Mm.
because had a lot of people use their discernment the way they should have, the way they properly should have, none of this would be happening. It wouldn't even got to the point where Melody had to expose him because his platform would have been gone. That's what happens. One thing I need to say about what was said earlier about why did it just now take for people to be outraged? No, I was outraged a long time ago. People with real principles, that's just how I feel about it, should have been outraged a long time ago as well.
Thank you.
And one thing that I did notice is that the longer the older his channel got, the more vitriolic it became. It wasn't like that at first.
Mm.
So yeah, when he was going in on different other cast members, it wasn't as acidic. It wasn't as toxic as it is now. He wasn't doing this back then. Okay. Even when he went to Destiny's house, yeah, he was very, very out of line doing that. But he wasn't calling women bitches and hoes and whatever. He wasn't doing that back then. So yeah, I mean, there were outrageous things that were happening, but it wasn't happening toward the cast. It was happening toward content creators and mods and people who he was trying to get close to, and maybe it wasn't working out the way he wanted it to. So he would turn. He was turning on other content creators. He turned on his moderator, who was supposed to have been his best friend, and he revealed that nasty information. Those were the outrageous things. It wasn't toward the cast. He just now has become outrageous toward a cast member, his cast member of choice to be outrageous toward is Melody. because of what happened, because he did not get what he wanted from her. Melody was his main target for supply of whatever he was looking for. So, yeah, I believe it's a false equivalency to ask, why now? And that's all I got to say.
Thank you for coming up, Bad Apple. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing and giving your viewpoint. Um, I want to say this real quick because I know people. I want to be very clear because I know sometimes we hear what we want to hear. When we're in a chat and the comments are going crazy. I never said pray for Anthony. This is just to the chat. I said if you're going to talk about him, positive affirmations, something da 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 da. So this is not an instruction. I'm just saying, and this isn't to Bad Apple, but as Bad Apple was talking, I saw people were commenting. No, 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 no. You don't have to pray for nobody. But I'm saying if you're going to speak on him tonight, we're going to do something a little bit different. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Let me go to my priority panelists really quick. Kicking it with Courtney. Tamika, you up next.
Hello.
Kicking it with Courtney, and then Tamika is up next.
Hey, Queen.
Uh-oh. Okay,
Thank
there
you for
she go.
having me. Can y'all
Hey.
hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can.
Hold on. Can you hear me, Queen?
Yeah, we can hear you. Turn your volume up just a little bit. Okay, Courtney went on mute. Let's see. If not, I'm going to go to Tamika. Courtney, mic check. Let's go to Tamika. We're going to come back to Courtney.
Hello.
Okay, go ahead, Tamika.
You can hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I just want to say welcome back, Queen Sheba. Praying for you and your family. Um, I'm gonna be really quick, but I'm really like
Okay, can you
concerned.
hear me?
You want me to come
Hello?
down?
Hold on. Courtney,
Hello?
let me let Tamika finish, and I'm going to come back to you, Courtney. Okay, go ahead, Tamika.
So I'm just really like concerned with this whole situation with this content creator. I could say his name, I guess AL or whatever the case may be, because I was really on the live when he first came up on Melody's live, and it was just like, a fan. He was fan struck, and now it's coming to making terroristic threats towards this woman. Um, I really just feel like we should ignore his commentary. I don't think some of the CC should even report on his stories because we're making his platform bigger, even if it's like a negative, but we need to just like stay united and not go against each other as, content creators and fans, because that's what they really want to do. And if we could all just pray for one another, that's really all I have to say.
Thank you. Short, sweet, to the point. Tamika came up here and she said what she said. Thank you, Queen. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Let me go to the Queen herself. Aunt Debbie, you have the floor. I think y'all sleep. Listen.
Well, hello, Queen Sheba. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Welcome back. I miss you. Love
I miss
you.
you too.
And prayers for you and your family.
Thank you.
Um, I'm so glad you back. I miss you and love you. I know you said say something positive. I
Oh,
don't go over there because I don't play around in the devil's den. That's not what I do. Now I'm a work in progress, but when I pray at night and I pray for people all over the world. I say bless the world. Now that's the most I can do right now. As I said, I'm a work in progress. God got to work on me some more. Maybe I get there. It's gonna take some time. You know how us Scorpios are.
go ahead, Aunt Debbie. Keep cooking.
So I'm not a hypocrite. Now don't play like that. When God tell me to do something, I do it. I am obedient. He said go up and support, love on, be there. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing what he said. So with that being said, I'm here and I'm glad you're back and I love you.
And we
And
love
I
you.
love I love the lessons that you teach and try to preach and give to us. But like I said, I'll pray how I pray for him, and I hope that's enough. And thank God for that. And thank God for you and the people in the palace. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me. I love you so much.
And we love you, Debbie. And thank you for coming up and keeping it real, y'all. That's almost my birthday twin, Scorpio, Scorpio. But listen. Debbie, we love you. And thank you for doing a remix of your version. Like you said, nah, ain't nobody finna take me off my square. And I'm going to say it the way I want to say it. And I love it. So thank you, Debbie.
Thank you for having me. Good night. Bye-bye.
All right. Let's go to, let me get kicking it with Courtney. One more chance, child.
Hey, Queen.
Yeah,
My
she ready
device wasn't
now.
working. I don't know why.
Girl.
But shout out to Queen Sheba. Woo woo. No, I'm going to be real quick. I just wanted to come up and say I'm not trying to make this about me, but I just want to say I put it in the chat several times. Queen, the streets have been dry without you. We're so happy to have you back. And just thank you. You are sitting. I wanted to stay in the bushes and just, be in the chat and listen because you are my favorite. So I love to hear you drive it on home and drop the mic. So we appreciate you for that. And I just want to say I always call you the generous queen because you are always giving back. You are always extending to another person. And I haven't always felt seen in my life. And I just want to thank you for always seeing me. You have always made me feel seen, and I appreciate you, Queen. I love you. Even in the midst of your own trials, you still send an olive branch, and you are appreciated, and you are loved, and I appreciate you, Queen. And as far as Anthony, I just want to say sometimes people can be living in a heaven or hell per se on earth. And that heaven or hell, if they're living in hell on this earth, then it translates into what we see and how they show up as a person. So these are demons attached to this young man. And as Melody always says, demons don't get tired. And this young man has very vile demons attached to him. Ariane has a Jezebel spirit, as Queen said, attached to her. Stormy has spirits attached to Carlos. These people have demons attached to them that don't get tired and are working overtime. So what we should do is bind these demons. I bind these demons that are attached to these people. I bind these demons that come up against, Melody. I bind these demons that are flowing through these streets. Whatever is bound on earth, it shall be loosed. And that's basically all I have to say. Bind those demons that are attached to these people. Bind that demon that is attached to that young man so that whatever he's going through in his life, he can experience heaven on this side and get out of that hell that he is so dead set on keeping himself in. So I'm just binding the demons. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, peace, and a sound mind. And I'm wishing that for everyone. Thank you again, Queen. From my heart to yours, thank you for always making me feel seen. I love you. And that's all I had. That's all I wanted to come up and say. And hey, Sugar.
Hey,
Hey, Court.
Sugar.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
That was beautiful, wasn't it, Sugar?
Mm-hmm.
I love saying her name, Sugar. Bravo, Vivian. Ain't to say it, Sugar.
Sugar. Mm-hmm.
Listen, y'all. We have a good old time over here.
We
Thank
do.
y'all for hanging out with us. Let me go to Victoria because Victoria been waiting like a mug. And then I got JC and Braylon coming up. Love you, Courtney.
Love you, Queen. And that's from my heart. I love you. And thank you.
You. We finna make it do what it do. It's here soon now. Victoria, girl, you on mute. Victoria might be asleep, child. Let me try JC.
I'm not on mute. I'm off. I'm
Okay,
off.
there she go. There she go.
I must have hit the mute. But yeah, I just want to circle back. I love you, Queen Sheba. I love a lot of content creators, but Queen Sheba is up there to the top. But I just want to go back to the young lady who was talking about bias and we should feel the same about the other ladies and, all of that. And it sounded real good, but I don't know if she watched the show from the beginning. I don't know, and I don't want to say she did. But I really think that the streets could be so much better had Melody got the grace like the other women's did. Like, I felt like if from day one, we have seen Melody be so mistreated on this show. I feel like if she would have had the support from her friends who she thought was her friends, it would be better out here. Because like I remember you saying, Queen Sheba, when you said when you noticed Melody and how she was getting her ass handed to her, like nobody was on her side. And we noticed that from day one. And I feel like Melody, how I started riding with Melody is, listening to you and how she wasn't getting the support from the friends that she thought was friends. Because she always say that she went on vacations with them. She did that with them. And I felt like if Melanie would have got the support from day one, from the mistreatment of Martell and what he was doing, it would be a lot of women standing up for the other women on that show. She didn't get none of that from none of those women. Like she want us to stand up for, for all the women, but Melly didn't get that treatment from none of them women. None of them. And I felt like we wouldn't feel the way we feel towards them women had we saw that on this show. Just be a real woman. That's not right. If they would have seen what she was going to and be there for her, even if they wasn't kin to her, just being a woman. And we didn't see that. That's why I think all this negative about all these other women, because all these other Black women is looking at like, damn, she didn't even get nothing from who she thought was her friends and her castmates and all of that. She got nothing. And, and I understand what she said, why the other women didn't get, the same as what Melody get. But look how Melody been treated from day one. Like, dang, it's from day one. She been treated bad from day one. She had nobody on her side from day one. Nobody but her mother. That's it. So I felt like I really liked this Stormy. I really did, because I thought she was a genuine friend. I thought she was a genuine friend when Melody made that video. She was pregnant. I thought she was a genuine friend. Everybody liked her. But after the dialogue started, we start really looking at and dissecting the show. It's like nobody was on her side. She had nobody. It's like she was fighting by herself. So I think that's why how Melanie got all these fans. I really do. Because it's nothing we seen her do wrong. Like the other lady, I don't know who she was. Melanie haven't never showed us nothing she really did wrong, to be honest. And I'm not taking up for her or none of that. It's nothing we saw her do wrong. Really nothing. But support everybody on that cast. Everybody. That's all I saw. And I've been watching this since season one. So all that bias and this and that, we're not biased. It's just us being women and understanding what she going through or what she went through. That's just us being women. Like, stop thinking we taking up for her because of that. That's not it. That's not it. So that's all I wanted to say. It's just like, I just hate when people label Melody out and we do this, we do that, we do this for her. It's not that. She was a woman. She went through a lot and she had no other women sticking up for her but her mother. Point blank, period. That's what I saw. That's what I saw.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you. And Victoria makes excellent points that can be applied on all sides, both sides, whether you're a melody supporter, non-melody supporter. And then but the focus of tonight's conversation is when content creation turns to hate, right?
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
gets a chance to listen, pick a side. That's good.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? People can come and say, well, I like this, I don't like that. That's perfectly okay to me. But when content creation turns into hate, that's when everybody gotta be like, hold up now. You done lost your damn mind. And I agree, and I thank you for calling that out, Victoria. Thank you so much.
But if the show would have started off right, we wouldn't even be here. I guaranteed you that. We wouldn't be here. Because what if Melanie and Martell divorced and still had a good co-parenting relationship? How would the show be?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Victoria done brought it home. JC, you up next. What you got?
Hey, how are y'all this evening?
We good. Welcome,
Can
welcome.
you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I will say I was one who stood up to Anthony in the chat. I think you remember me from the situation when he came about your fertility. And I will say to people, like, don't be afraid. Although I got attacked by his fans and all of that, his supporters, it doesn't matter. I had to make sure my spirit was right first before I went into that chat, because I knew that I wasn't saying anything wrong or vindictive or attacking him. He actually ended up apologizing, whether it was valid or not. At the end of the day, I said what I needed to say, and I didn't stoop down to his level. And that's what I employ other people to do. You can still maintain control of yourself and deal with some of these situations without getting in the mud with everybody else. I also want to say to some of the content creators who may be on, there's a lot of onus that's put on people that are your subscribers, but a lot of them, and I'm not speaking of you, but a lot of them are not conducting themselves in the best way. They're not controlling their chats in the best way. They have moderators who are biased, who don't allow people to have a difference of opinion, although they state that they are unbiased, which doesn't make sense because everyone has biases. You just need to go to where you're accepted. But I think they use that to lure people in, and then people are attacked when they have a different opinion, or they say that there's drama that comes from both sides. There's a difference between offering criticism and being disrespectful. I think the way that Mel is treated is disgusting, and I also think now too the way Sunny is being treated is disgusting. You don't have to agree with how her marriage started, but at the end of the day, that's a wife, and for people to be coming at their abilities to have kids and things of that nature, it's just going just way too far. So I think again, I respect you because you came on and you said, look, I'm on Mel's side, that this don't get it confused. This is where I stand. I will allow you to come up here and share your opinion and not be disrespectful of you, but let's be clear, this is where I stand, so that people can make an informed decision of who they want to support and who they don't want to support. I think that's just kind of how we all need to move, just being more aware of situations that we allow ourselves to get involved in and go down, dirty in the mud. And to Anthony, I pray that God extends grace to him, grace and mercy to him, for a person to be this invested into a show or into people's lives. There's definitely some talent there, but it's being geared in the wrong direction. And I pray that God orders.
Are you there, JC? Did JC go out?
God said,
JC, like that. JC?
I'm here. I don't know if you can
Okay.
still hear
Can
me.
you say your last sentence? We want you to end on a high note.
Okay, I just pray that God orders his steps and gives him the ability to use his gifts and talents in a better way. What the devil meant for bad, God has the ability to turn it around and use it for something good. And just imagine if he could use all of these skills that he's investing into negative things to doing positive things. His life could be so much better. Pride is a terrible thing. And I just pray that he finds the peace that he needs. So I wish you guys well, and y'all have a good night.
Thank you for coming up. Thank you. As always, you're always welcome. Thank you, JC. All right, Braylon, you have the floor. Let's do a mic check real quick.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Hey,
All
good
right.
people. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Braylon.
Hey, y'all. Oh, Lord Jesus. What a night tonight. You know, I have to tell you, there is a scripture in the Bible that says, as a man thinketh, so is he. I've come to recognize that there is a statement that as a boy, I played with my toys, but as I grew up, I got rid of those toys because I had bigger things to do. When I moved out of my parents' home, I was completely petrified of, wait a minute, I don't have my foundation. And usually when you don't have your foundation, you have to find your footing. It's just like when your parents kick you out the nest, you gotta make sure your wings work. I think what's happened to Anthony is that his wings have been wilted. And I think he's flown a little too far. And when you fly too far, you only have two wings that work. I'll just say that for that. As a male content creator, you're not going to get everything right. But what I do know is this: I will never do behavior that I would never do in my real life. So right is right and wrong is wrong. I think anybody who accepts that behavior is ish to me. This should be based on principle, because even though it wasn't your daughter or your mama, it could be. And I think it's just sad that we have to talk and have a conversation on principles. So love you all. I did see the 2 minutes, Deetria. I saw that, child. I saw it. So much love to everybody, and love you all. So
Yeah, thank you for hanging here with us, Braylon, and just coming just to give us a little bit of razzle dazzle from a male's perspective. We always appreciate you. You're always welcome over here, right, wrong, or indifferent, honey. Look, and we just appreciate you standing in the gap. Yeah, I want to say something real quick, because I like how you said as a man, and you're kind of pushing it in that way from a different perspective. And I'm not going to say that I've always been a fan of Funky Dineva, because there's some things that Funky would say, and I'm like, hell no, I'm going to go after him, and I have. But overall, if I have to give him his flowers, he's a hell of a content creator, period. You can't take it away. And the reason why I use him as an example, because content creators, like Braylon said, you don't always get it right. That ain't the point. The point is, when he does his content, he gives his content. Now, sometimes his opinions are a bit strong, but then he can bounce back. And then he may go off grid again, but then he'll bounce back. And I love one thing that he said, what really changed what shifted the paradigm for him. I don't know if you all listened to his interview with Carlos King, but he said he found himself being in a real dark place as a content creator. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because people saying they can hear. Okay, he said what turned him is he found himself going low. If you listen to the interview, it was an excellent interview, in my opinion. He said he would go so low to get the content. And then he realized one day he woke up and he looked in the mirror and was like, who are you? You are now showing people's naked pictures. You doing anything for content. He said it didn't sit right. It made him feel dirty and nasty in his spirit. That don't mean he's gotten it right every time after that, but it was a wake-up call for him. And I admired his honesty when he said, I don't want to do that. That ain't how I want to get it. That ain't how I gotta get it. And he said he had to fall all the way back. That don't mean he's the best of the best, y'all. I'm just giving y'all a story, right? This is content we're talking. He said he had to fall all the way back and lose some income and lose views, because he decided, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not going that way no more. From here on out, I ain't listening to nobody. I'm not going to get so dirty and dark and down in the mud that I'm willing to do anything strange for a piece of change. That's it.
no,
That's all.
absolutely, Queen Sheba. If I may, I have a phrase that I often say: just because you're not being seen by everybody doesn't mean you're not being seen. When I've only been live streaming for about a year. From that period to now, I'm at 2,409 subscribers. I'm at 205,182 total views. I say that because within content creation, there are times you want to give up on you. There are times you feel like you are giving your worst. And there are times where you don't even, you feel like life is controlling you instead of you controlling your life. But I say my numbers, and I say all that to say this. When you think you are giving your worst, I promise you somebody's taking it as your best because at least you're trying. Please give it everything you have. Like I said, I'm not seen by everybody, but I am being seen by who needs to see me. We gotta quit wanting to be seen by everybody. Just like everybody says, don't pray for me, because not everybody is praying for your good. Some people are praying for your bad. And you get too wrapped up in the prayers of just being heard. They go to your detriment. You only got one life. This ain't Mario where you can replay level 1. Love y'all.
Thank you. I see Coffee says, I don't rock with Funky Dineva. You don't have to. Like Aquarius, hold on, Aquarius 1970, let me find Aquarius says, she made a very good point. Coffee says, I don't rock with Funky Dineva. Then Aquarius came back and said, it's about the message. A lot of people don't rock with Melody. And because they don't rock with her, it's okay for them to hear her being called a bitch. It's not about who you rock with. It's about standing with right. And when somebody, you don't have to like somebody for them to come through and give you a good word. And you said, now that's a good word. I didn't expect it from them, but that's a good word. And I can appreciate that story and that background. That's where I'm trying to shift us to. Because if we all say, I don't rock with that person, that's where you open up the portal for people to get disrespected because they don't rock with somebody. And Coffee, I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but I'm saying if we can appreciate a good word, a good triumphant story, Funky Dineva is. And some people say, well, he's gone back to that. But the point is, he used to be that all the time. He used to be dark all the time. So there's been a shift. And yes, he goes back to that. He goes back to that because one thing they teach in air traffic control is in an emergency, everybody defers to their native language. Oh, y'all ain't ready for those kind of in an emergency. When people get uncomfortable, they defer back to their native language. What does that mean? If you are bilingual and you can speak 3 different languages and your native language is in Spanish and a plane is going down, before you know it, you don't even know you're speaking Spanish when you're supposed to be speaking English. Somebody give me an amen. Nobody's perfect. That's all I'm saying. I'm not making excuses for
Amen.
nobody. Go ahead, Courtney.
I was just saying amen. Give me your amen.
So it's just so much in life. There's so much beauty. There's so much evolution. There's so many pivoting. And if you can stand back and watch it and say, okay, now this is where it gets crazy. Because this is what you're on. This is where, you know what? Okay. Which is why I said calling a woman that ain't disrespected you on that level is crazy to me. It's crazy to me, right? But should not apply to every woman. And I'm a huge Melody fan.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we may not rock with another content creator. But where do we apply the same rule across the board for all women, for all men to say, hey, hold on now. That's just, I may be different in my rhetoric and in my thoughts.
I hear what you're saying, I mean, because I reported him to Funky. And it was because for me, when he goes in, and it's just like, whoa, and it's shocking and it's offensive. And, I think that we as a society as a whole, as Black men and women, we get offended enough, And when it's another Black man, and I don't care if you're gay or straight or whatever, however you flow, coming after Black women, it just, I can't. And for me, when Melody was so sweet and nice and helpful to Anthony, and so when he went dark, I was like, oh, hell no, I can't. And, and I don't have to watch his videos because enough of it is reported through other content creators to report. And what is irritating me, it seems like I've seen lesser channels get stricken and basically erased for less. And it's really like, you know, if it wasn't for you showing how that works with YouTube, because I'm not into YouTube like that anymore. So I wouldn't have understood, because I was literally getting, you know, I was like, why is he still doing this? Because it was every week, you know. So yeah, I feel like for me, when I say I pray for someone's healing, I know that their healing has to come through with some accountability to God. You can't stand before God and say, look, I'm here on this planet, but I don't want to face the consequences of my authorities. You can't do that. Your healing may be coming while you're sitting doing those 90 days and 3 squares. I don't know. That is God's plan. But there is a healing to be made. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
I mean, you know, I just want people to know that healing with God is not a simplistic thing, and it takes work, and it's complicated. If it wasn't complicated, the Bible would have been as simple as see Scott run or see Spot run. It's not. It takes work. And faith is not
For
something
all
to
of
be,
us. I
for
want to
all
be
of
clear.
us.
Yeah.
For all of us, faith is not something to be taken like, you know. And
Thank you.
this man has invoked the words of God in his hatred for someone. And I'm not just talking about male. So he has to be accountable for that. And that is his journey that he has to be willing to take, because also we are given a choice. And he's made the choices he's made. So, you know, and sometimes people's healing don't come till the end. So when we pray for healing, after we pray for that, it's up to God of how that process is going to
Remember,
go.
I didn't instruct nobody to pray for nobody. I want to be clear, because
No,
I don't
I'm
want
just saying,
anybody to
yeah,
misconstrue anything that I'm saying on my channel. I said, if you're going to
right,
say anything
right,
about him, we're switching the narrative, and it's
right,
going to be I'm not correcting you, but I just want to make
right.
sure that everybody's clear.
Yeah. So that's my thinking. That's where I'm at with it, because
Gotcha.
I
All
don't
right.
want to hear about him saying anything else about another Black woman, or you know, speaking negatively about a person's process in life just because he envies it. You know, it's just ridiculous to me. It has gone to a level of where I think of levels of the way my mind goes.
I
Okay,
want to bring it back though.
yeah.
Anything affirming.
What did you say?
Anything affirming.
Anything affirming? You mean,
Affirming. Because I said if anybody's going to talk about him, we're going to do it different tonight.
yeah. So you mean specifics?
Anything positive, affirming that you wish for him.
Yeah, that was my firm affirmation. Healing.
Okay, got it. I want to make sure that doesn't go. You
It's
know,
not gone. I'm just, you know.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, because it was. I'm just saying,
You know
I
how
had to
I
reel you
am.
back
I'm
in.
just like, I'm going to put it all out there. But yeah, I do want that.
Okay.
I do want healing. I'm going to
Okay,
put it
got
out.
it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. Love Key says Funky has been consistent with his bashing, but are you shocked? If you listen to people when they talk, he called his mama a bitch. Funky said he called his mama a bitch and slammed the door in her face. She says, I cannot offer him anything. I'll simply take your word for it. And that's fair. Love Key. But when you listen to his interview, I'm not shocked that he's bashing women. He's had a mommy problem. And I can go, that's a whole different conversation. Let me pause. KNRB, welcome.
Sorry, yeah, I was just waiting. Thank you for having me, Queen. Thank you for having me. And
Absolutely.
chat, yeah, I just wanted to say, I'm not gonna say anything specifically about Anthony, but God commissions different people to do different things. It's kind of like the military. There's some that are going to pray for you, there's some that are going to give you a word of affirmation and comfort. And then there's some that do a mixture of both, of all those things. And then there are some that are just some head busters and they just stomp the devil's head. So I'm just going to leave it at that on that. But what I do want to say on a positive note, can you hear me? Can you
Oh,
hear
yeah,
anything
we're
I'm
just listening intently.
saying? Okay. What I want to say on a positive note is this. Well, first let me address the other young lady that was on here that was speaking about uh unpopular opinions podcast. That lady, that particular channel has not been in effect that long. It's only been in effect, I guess, 4 months, unless she was under another name and renamed herself. So I'm not quite sure why she would kind of be on that side, unless she just started watching the show.
She says she listens to everybody.
Well, she said she listens to everybody, but she said that she prefers listening to unpopular opinion because she says that she has kind
I
of
want
an
to be clear.
unbiased.
She says she listens to everybody. And I said, of everybody that you've listened to, who do you feel the most comfortable with? So I asked her that. But
Okay.
before she said that, she was neutral about who
Okay.
she listens to. So I wanna make sure I you know what I mean? I'll be completely honest.
Right. But if she's
Okay.
comfortable with listening to that person, then I kind of have to give her the side eye because that particular content creator, I'm not going to go into specifics, but she's very skewed. So I'm going to leave that on that and leave on a positive note. What I can say about this whole thing is that the reason why I am very, I guess you can say, skewed towards Melody is because I don't know her, but taking her masterclass, I was able to speak with her, weekly in a, short, brief time, every week. But I can recall on one specific week, I was having a hard week. And I mean, at work, I was having a hard week at home. It was just a lot. She sat there, took time out to give me encouraging words and to say that she would pray for me. And when I tell you that that type of person that can take time out of their busy schedule to do that for someone that they don't even know is awesome. And anybody that would come against somebody that can do that for someone that they don't even know, I would have to look at them cross-eyed. I'd have to look at them side-eyed because it takes intuition and it takes, what do they call that? Church folks, what do y'all call
Instinct,
that? Not
instinct,
instinct. Just
intu in
just discernment, just discernment
mm,
to know
okay.
who to listen to. And I'm not saying that she's a god. I'm not saying that, she's perfect because none of us are perfect. And I love you too, Queen, but there have been some instances where I haven't always agreed with you, and I'm not gonna lie. But all I'm saying is using your discernment and your intuition. If you're more skewed over to someone that has lied and betrayed and stabbed people in the back, then you have to look at yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and question yourself. And that's all I want to say.
No, thank you, thank you. And y'all, listen,
Y'all have a good night.
I like that you said that. I was gonna say something. Let me get my thoughts together really quick, really quick, really quick. Um, I'm gonna let that linger because I had a thought based on something that you said. KNRB, KNRB. Hold on, hold on. It was a comment in relation to what I thought you said. I can't find it. I should have started. Let me see if I start it up. Maybe I'll find it later. But no, thank you everybody for being open, for being honest. Oh, y'all were talking about unpopular opinion. I don't know who that is, and if so, I probably forgot. There's a lot of YouTube channels, y'all. I think what we have to do is reset expectations, right? If you are going to hear what you want to hear and you realize that you may have ventured off somewhere, there's no way you should know how long that channel has been there, KNRB. Because you say you disagree with some stuff that I've said. So now I'm gonna hold you accountable. If I don't like something, I don't know nothing about them.
Oh,
So
I went in there and I researched because I'm a researcher. If someone says something and they feel like, oh yeah, they feel really strongly on it, I'm not trying to argue against it, but I do want to get both sides of the story. So as soon as she said that, I did go in there and I was like, wait a minute, this channel hasn't even been in effect that long. It's only been in effect
oh,
since
you
for
clicked
four
on it.
months. Yes, for 4 months. And I didn't click on any, well, I clicked on one of her videos, but looking at like the shorts, looking at all of the videos there, they're skewed towards one particular person. And
Gotcha.
yeah, I don't want to get
Okay.
into that.
Got it. Okay. Be True says that was a plug for the channel. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it was. Let me tell you why. I gotta be honest now. Y'all know I ain't finna sit here and let me tell you why, Be True. Because she didn't know I was gonna ask her that question. And if so, that was on me. Do y'all get what I'm saying? I was the one that said of all the channels that you listen to, because she says I'm diverse. I go across all of them. I tend to like to hang in the middle. And I said, of all the channels that you listen to, which can you, whatever I said. And then she answered me. So I don't think she came with the intention of plugging. I just got to be fair. Feel free to push back, panel. And if not, we finna move on.
No, I agree. I
Okay.
agree.
All right. Well, with
But
that being said,
her answer
go
spoke
ahead.
volumes is all I'm saying. Her
Yeah,
answer
they did. They
spoke
did.
volumes.
Why? Is it because y'all disagree? Let me ask you that.
No, her answer, she said that she spoke out of both sides of her mouth, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm just being frank. She did, because in one breath she's saying, oh, I like to hang out with people that are neutral. I like to listen to the channels that are neutral. And then when you asked her that specific question, she went directly over to that particular podcaster or that content creator. And that content creator is extremely skewed, not in the middle. You can look at some of the titles, you can listen to the videos, you can listen to the shorts, you can look at even the pictures, the graphics on some of the videos that she has, and you can tell just by looking on the outside that that particular content creator is very, very skewed.
Can I jump in for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree. I listened to her. Somehow she came up in my algorithm. So I was like, okay, let me just say it's unpopular opinion. I'm kind of an unpopular opinion type of person. So I clicked on it, and when I tell you the chat was out of control, she was out of control. I stayed in there for maybe 10 minutes, and I did, do not recommend this channel. Now, I think that neutral word is overused. I think that we can like who we like. Nobody is telling anybody you cannot like this content creator, you cannot like that one. That's, whatever is for your ears is for your ears, but people will, neutral isn't straight bashing one person. I tell people all the time I have a bias. This may not be for you because I don't necessarily give favorable commentary to these people. So just because I don't want to trick anybody into a subscription and then later on it's like, no, I'm telling you now. Neutral is when you across the board give it to everybody evenly, depending on what you're watching. But when we're in this sector and everybody knows what's going on and y'all are using those things and you're piling it on just one person being Melody, that's not neutral. That's a clear bias towards the other side. And I just think that it's hard for me to watch other women, especially, know everything that she's been through and they use it against her as if it's a dig or a joke. Like, if you don't like what you see on the TV, that's one thing, but yeah, they were doing a lot. I don't think that's a neutral channel.
Oh, thank
Not
you for
at
your
all.
No,
She's
it's not.
she's basically YouTube's Candace Owens, child. Y'all move the hell on.
I don't know who it
Yes,
is.
be
I don't have
honest.
any experience with that channel. I can't say yay or nay. So I'm gonna reserve until I don't y'all. I mean, as long as people ain't, it's content, right?
You talked about content creation being original tonight, and I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, it's not.
But
I don't know. I don't know. It's like
even if it makes you uncomfortable, I think content can be content, like until it
I
shifts
think
into
content is content, but you gotta look at the spirit in which it's given. You have to look at the intent of the person. And whatever, like the Bible says, and I haven't been to church in forever, but what's in the heart will spring out of the mouth, right?
Mm.
So whatever's in there, if it's something dark, if it's something nasty, it's gonna come out eventually.
Samantha says, hold on. I haven't listened. I ain't gonna lie. She said, Queen, stay here. That is oh. Well, okay. Well, shit. Let me
yeah,
stay over here in my little box. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I gotta stay on my creative zone. Okay,
Hmm.
so I'm gonna take y'all's word.
They're not
I,
creative like
I have
they're
a
not.
rule, honey. I have a rule. I don't spend no more time on your channel than I do creating for mine.
Hmm.
If I
Facts.
burn myself on your channel for an hour, I gotta be on mine for 2. Otherwise, what am I doing?
A word.
Oh, come on. Listen. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Somebody drop some in the chat. Damn. In relation to what one of y'all just said. Hold on. Braylon, they saying they giving you your flowers.
Yeah.
Okay. They giving Braylon.
I mean, you talked about being an original content creator, correct? And I gave y'all my numbers. That's because I don't move based off of the when to be popular just because I was not ever popular in life. See, a lot of people in life, they usually will portray what they actually are.
Hmm.
I want to make sure we don't get confused
Just
though,
saying,
Braylon.
because if you really think that you are somebody, that would relate to the content you create.
Hmm.
So
Facts.
if you are unpopular in your real life, that reflects in your virtual reality. But you,
No,
Queen Sheba,
no,
tonight talked about being an original content creator.
Braylon.
So
That's his
listen,
name.
names have
Not
identities
me.
too, Queen Sheba.
I'm gonna push back. Y'all, we got okay.
Oh
Y'all really
Lord.
believe that?
Okay.
I'm
You
Oh
sorry.
my
What did I do?
god.
Did I start?
I
did I
cannot.
did I
I don't
start a
know the
whole
lady.
controversy?
Okay,
Braylon's
but
right.
okay.
I
I'm
mean,
listening.
let me say, I feel like, okay, occur that Braylon is right. Because what we're seeing is people are using their personal feelings of, to me, and I'm jealousy, envy, whatever, cheating, whatever, their personal feelings of it to monetize off their hate for Melody.
But do we know the difference? That's why I started off. Have we as viewers, subscribers, whomever, even if you at some point you're not a content creator, even though you're one, when you start to venture off into other people's territory, are we able to manage the difference between content creation and hate versus
Queen
oh, that made me uncomfortable. I didn't want to hear that.
Queen
Yeah.
Sheba, let me ask you this. When you
Okay.
hear the word God, are there connotations to that, what God means to you? And when you hear the word Lucifer, are there connotations with that name? So if God and Lucifer had connotations and positive, negative traits, then our identities upon earth with our channels, whether they're username or what have you, however we diversify them, also have identities as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. What?
So that's what I mean. It's hate, and then I mean, you know when you hear hate, and then when you hear content creation, and you hear in most of the people that what I see a lot of people following that follow the same channels I do, we're following inspirational people who create dynamic um, content. and who at some point in time during their content will speak some positivity or offer some alleviation from the negativity in some direction. You see what I'm saying? And then when the hate people come in, they just want to steer you towards hate, negativity, hate, negativity, hate, negativity. It's like a flashing banner of theirs. So,
Okay. Hold on. Wait. Y'all
that was
watch this. Watch this. Angela, watch this. Angela Jean said, break that thing down, Braylon. Braylon
And
said,
will.
and will.
and will.
Y'all. Y'all are hilarious. I am so open-minded to a certain extent. To a certain extent. But listen, I'm
I'm
not a bitch.
listen.
I should go listen to
Listen.
unpopular opinion.
I'm not
Huh?
open minded when it comes to my peace. That's not negotiable.
Well, I don't go nowhere that's gonna disrupt my peace.
And there
Quit
it
the laughing
is.
at us. Even some y'all got Simone Wealthy. Look, KC. I want to KC came up. What are your thoughts? KC, it seemed like your screen is frozen. But let's see if you can get in. Hold on. Let's try this. KC.
Can you hear me?
Okay, there. Hold on. Let me mute this one. Let's see. Go ahead.
Is there echo?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. How's everybody doing? I know it's a late night and everybody going in. I just so happen to click on, and I haven't been on here in a while just because
Mhm.
I've been busy. But also, um, like everyone's saying, like around this show, it is so dark, it is so negative, and it's taking a life on its own. And if some of you all remember when I used to come up, it's a matter of sometimes what we're attracted to, how I talk about gossip, and the perils of gossip. And so I always tell people that even if you like listening to gossip, it's not going to be too far fetched that you become part of gossip or be gossiped about, which creates mess. And then we get all the conflict and the chaos. And if you're not one that likes to feed on mess, going against those that like to create chaos, mess, and drama, I'm not going to say you're going to lose every time, but there won't be a level of peace. So when it comes to the content creators that always have something negative to say, it is a matter of the heart because a lot of it does get dark. I don't support the channels that like to call the women out of their name. I notice it's mainly a lot of the gay male content creators that do it. And so I always question the women that flock to those channels or report on what they say. And then a lot of them start adopting some of those ways as well, you know, calling the women B's and H's and stuff like that. So there has to be self accountability across the board for everyone to realize what it is that they are attracting to, what it is they want to listen to, even to report on stuff that like Miss Wanda does. I really stopped listening to a lot of content creators because, like everyone says, if it's someone that I don't rock with, I really don't care what you got going on, you know. But I also break it down to how do we say it? A dog returns to its own vomit. So if you love gossip, if you love being in the mess, if you love being in the know for the sake of content, to get your views up or to get a check, sometimes you really do have to check on your motivation or your heart posture. And then I have one more thing to close out with, and it is a scripture that I think a lot of people don't know about, and it reflects on a lot of what this show is about, with the head being Carlos and all his minions, and then for everyone to check themselves the things going on in their lives. It's Proverbs 4:14 through 17. Says, "Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not go the way of evil men. Avoid it, do not travel on it. Turn away from it and pass on. For the wicked cannot sleep unless they do evil, and they are deprived of sleep unless they make someone stumble and fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence." And I'm going to leave it there. That's Proverbs 4:14 through 17.
Ooh, KC came down and put the smack down. Can you smell what KC is cooking? Thank you so much for such a beautiful, beautiful, profound word. And we miss you.
Thank you. I know I haven't been, I can't listen to a lot of it.
I got you. I
I
got
can't
you.
listen to a lot of it, but that's
I got
okay. I peep in every now and then because before I leave, I'm going to say this. The reason I got involved in the show is because a part of my life kind of simulated it, with my sister kind of being a male figure, her now ex-husband being like a Martell, and me always being an overprotective big brother. So sometimes
Mhm.
my voice get a little, I guess, familiar with her when I try to let her know about the perils and things that's going to happen. So I try to lead her to the show and the content creators to have another voice outside of me, because I know she probably just, oh, you always think this, you always think that, but I'm always right. And so I try to search the YouTube streets to give her stuff to listen to, because I know
Mhm.
my voice becomes kind of familiar to her at times. So that's kind of how I got into the segment, because I'm the one that blew up the spot on my ex brother in law and ex husband when I told her that he's out there cheating.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for being your sister's keeper.
No
Even in
problem.
the I love that you said that because we
Amen.
talked about that earlier. Even if it's the hardest news to deliver, a village that
Hmm.
loves you and cares about you is gonna come to you and say, "Hey, this ain't it."
Hmm.
You could have risked your relationship with your sister, but your love
Yeah.
overshadowed the possibility of being exiled. And that's what I was talking about. When you have a village that love you, they rather be kicked out than to see you go down.
Hmm.
And thank you for not only being your sister's keeper, but coming through and flowing through every now and then to give us a good word. So we appreciate you and we love you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Love everybody.
All
Love
right.
you too.
All right. Have a good one. Y'all, that was some good stuff. I think this is a great time to wrap up. It's late. Thank y'all for hanging out so long. I'm going to go through these super chats. If you want to hang out with me, you're more than welcome to. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you for the love. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you for just showing up for a tough conversation tonight. It ain't always good. Don't nobody want to do that. Don't nobody want to get out there. But you know what? That's what we do over here. You know what I'm saying? Because it got to get better. It's ridiculous. But let me just say this real quick. Hold on. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I gotta find my let me find my theme music. Give me 1 second. If I can find it. Here we go.
You better get to the bed. Don't let them hoes stop your bed. If you got a problem, just know I'ma make you my man. Yeah, get to the bed. Fuck what they talking about. Get to the bed. Don't worry about that.
Hey,
Don't do
don't do it.
it. Don't try it.
Come on, Shamar.
You a hater.
Shamar was singing his heart out, baby, singing for his life like he was a hostage. And they said, sing. He said, don't do it. I love it. Thank you, Prophetess Non One member for 18 months. She says, I've been waiting for you, Queen Sheba. Yes, where I'm here. I'm here. I poked my head out just a little bit. Nisa Najib, I love saying your name with a 10-piece and a pepper. She says, peace and blessings to you all in the palace. Thank you, Queen. We appreciate you. We really do. Let's see who we got up next. Who got up next? New Orleans Diva 504. Yeah, the 504 boys. Member for 9 months says, yes, let's use reason and logic to discuss this. And that's what we did. Captain Venus phone about to die with a 999 super chat. No caption needed. Standing on business, baby. Samantha LV, member for 7 months, says, welcome back, Queen. I hope you are well. I receive it, girl, in the name of Jesus. Yes, Audrey C coming through with a 5-piece super sticker. No pepper needed. Not on this one because the girl is hot, hot, hot. Kicking it with Courtney. Dropped the 10-piece and a pepper. She says, in the streets been dry without you, Queen. I receive it and I believe it. I receive it and I believe it. Kicking it with Courtney. Thank you, Queen. Let's see who we got. Stephanie. Tony with a 10-piece super sticker. No caption needed. Who else we got? Fruit Gummy Queen coming in, y'all, with that money, 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 money comes to me. A 10-piece and a pepper. She says, we love you, Queen Sheba, and I love you back. Yes. Sugar B, 98, member for 5 months. She said, you were missed dearly. Thank you. Cookie from the Shy coming in, dropping it like it's hot with a 10-piece and a pepper. She says, you are truly loved, Queen Sheba. Thank you. You know what I learned? In order to be loved, to get love, you got to be loved. To be a friend, to get a friend, you have to be a friend. So thank you, Cookie. GGB with a 10 piece and a pepper says, "We love you, Queen. God's got you and we support you. I receive it and I know it." Yvette Kahn with a 10 piece and a pepper says, "We love you, Queen. Thank you." Kendra Armstrong, member for 21 months. Much love to you, Queen, and much love to you back. Thank you. Brenda with a 2 piece and a pepper. Actually, a 3 piece super sticker. We appreciate you, Brenda. Vashti with a 20-piece super sticker. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. I hope you're still up. Valerie R with a 10 piece and a pepper. Love and support you, Queen. Thank you. Savannah 912 coming in hot. She might be asleep now with a 10 piece and a pepper says, "The palace is open to great love, great joy, and great love again." Run it again, Samantha. I'm sorry, Savannah. Coraline with a 10 piece and a pepper says, "Love you, Queen. Welcome back. Love, 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 love you. And I love you more." Listen, member for 5 months, Natasha Graves. Yes, girl, I got my eye on you, and you already know what time it is, Natasha. She says, "Yes, Queen Sheba, take your time and stand firm in your truth. This is a perspective we've all been awaiting. Or I'm here." Ingo Bruce, I like it. 5 piece and a pepper. Preach Queen Sheba. Solo Rose, I like that name. Ooh, Solo Rose. Y'all let that marinate. Member for 5 months. Yes, Queen, I love the palace. Many prayers to you. Michelle Walters with a 20-piece standing on business. And Nana75 with a 20-piece standing on business. All things possible 40. Yes, yes, yes. Say it again. All things possible with a 10-piece super sticker. We receive it. New Orleans Diva coming back, baby. The girl is hot with a 10-piece and a pepper. Listen, Tree W with a 5-piece and a pepper. She says, "Speak truth, Queen Sheba. This is a whole word. We try." Deborah E with a 5-piece and a pepper. "Love you, Queen Sheba. You are a true queen, always in my prayers. I receive it and I cling to it. Thank you." Red Tawny with a 5-piece and a pepper. "I can't believe he would call Miss Van out her name." Well, believe it, honey, because he did it. Bridget from the 502. Where's the 502? Member for 5 months, 6 months. Congratulations on your 6 month. What's 502, y'all? RF.
Girl,
I wonder what 502 is.
is
I'm gonna
that
have
an
to look
area
that up.
code?
Yeah, it's the area code.
Oh,
Rahab with a 5-piece and a peppers. "Mother should be respected and not disrespected for no reason. Hold your peace." Pause, 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 pause. If you ain't got nothing that's nice to say when it comes to them, sometimes. Now, I ain't gonna say all of them deserve respect, but that's why we're the better generation. We always want to be better than the ones we leave behind. Tree W with a 2-piece and a pepper. "Let your wounds be your wisdom." Girl, you better preach, Tree. Kicking it with Courtney came back, y'all, with that money, 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 money. Comes to me with a 10-piece and a pepper. Says, "Not I'm about to cry, Queen. Not the stamp." Listen, girl, I said what I said. Jackie Wilson Rudy, come on, girl, with a 50-piece. Come on now. You better get to your bag. Super sticker. She ain't even need to caption it. Tanya Singleton, "I love you, Queen. We appreciate you." She says, "Love you, Queen, in my prayers. I receive it and I believe it." Thank you. Thank you, Tanya. Samantha Elvey, always coming in. Hi from Canada. Samantha, you from Canada, right? Samantha be coming in with these funny numbers, but it gets the job done. I think that's a 7-piece and a pepper. She says, "Queen, welcome back. Can we close with that song again? Ride for mine." Oh, yes, we can. We can. I'm already demonetized on that from playing that, but it's okay. When we are ready to close, please, love you. I ain't got nothing good for who? Y'all gonna have to tell me. Samantha, I don't know what that means. Listen, too blessed for you with a 5-piece and a pepper. Thank you, Queen Sheba, darling, for the gems. Love you. We are your sister's keeper. Coco Lee with a 10-piece and a pepper. Some of these content creators are just low moral and Mel is an easy whipping post. The women listening enjoy hearing AL say all of those vicious, nasty things about two women. About two women act with dignity, the opposite of them. Listen, self-hate. That's what she's saying. Janice Jacob with a 5-piece and a pepper. "I love this channel and we love you back. You've been riding since day one, girl. We see you, Janice." And Carmen, we're going to close it out with a 4-piece super sticker. With a 4-piece super sticker. And with that being said, y'all, I appreciate all of you. I really
thank
do.
you. We love
Much
you
love,
too.
everybody.
Thank you, Braylon. They said you showed out tonight, Braylon. They was riding for you hard in the chat.
Much love, y'all. Thank you very much. Love y'all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Bravo Vivian, pulling up, hanging out with us tonight. Y'all stood 10
Hey.
toes down. She did that. And I know she's sleepy.
Yep.
All
Love
right.
you. Bye.
Thank you. And I guess it's time for me to go back to Say the World. And I will see y'all soon. God bless you all. And I just really hope we can get to a place where we get better. We get better. All right. God bless you all. Have a good night.